Sounds like the Pong remix of the theme song.
It does.
Jesus.
Coming in at us from an Amiga.
Wow.
Welcome to the dubstep version.
Yeah.
I hope this doesn't sound as bad as it does in my headphones. Is this on dial-up?
Don't you besmirch the good name of dial-up, sir.
Oh, lordy. Wow.
Rarely have I heard a song diss itself.
Sorry,
Oh,
everybody,
boy.
for that, whatever that was.
Hope it sounded better on the recording than it did live, because...
It sounded
Yeah.
horrible.
Well, like I was saying to you guys before we went on air here now, I tried that before and the recording sounded okay on YouTube. So if it sounds normal and then we're like, wow, it's because to us it sounds like really shitty.
If anybody heard that, let us know in the comments if it sounded like shit.
If you're actually
we'll stop
watching
there.
the show, let us know.
Yeah, and then someone will comment, yeah, the song is shit.
No, it's not.
You didn't specify.
You mean Kevin McLeod's work? Oh, that's it. That was great. It's what we did to it that screwed it up.
God damn it. I bought all the white labels and black labels because I couldn't remember which one I liked.
Oh.
This isn't it.
Well, you gotta like the white label.
No, I don't. Tastes like pine sol, baby.
Pine sol, baby.
Not like the clean pine sol, baby. God damn it. Ugh. 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 God. Why do people drink this shit? God. Okay. I reported, so I'm gonna drink it. Goddamn it. Oh.
Well, it's definitely a drink that you want to sip like one sip at a time.
He just looks like Alex Jones when he was trying his own drink of like bone broth,
Bone and chicken, yeah, and chocolate.
chicken bone broth, and chocolate.
Yeah, did you see that John Oliver thing about Alex Jones?
Yes, I showed that to my wife because it was on YouTube, and I had said, "Now, honey, this is somebody the president likes, and Ian watches him because he's so fucking crazy, and he says this is all an act." And I put it on. She goes, "What?" Every time he'd say something, she'd go, "Huh?"
and blueberries.
Yeah.
Well, it's just surprising because a lot of people really fall and believe in him, and like he doesn't really believe that stuff himself. That's what it shows,
Right. No, he believes in the money they can give him. He's
Yeah,
got
I believe
multiple
in the money.
Rolexes.
Yeah.
No,
He's
I
good.
gotta keep the show on the air. I gotta mortgage my house to do this.
Yeah.
He just it's funny because he kind of reminds me of that. What was it, Art Bell? That guy who would have like telepathics and vampires and stuff call him in, and he's like, "No, sir, I'm not saying you're not the reincarnation of Elvis Presley, but I got three. That was last week. I got 3 Elvises online. This week is dinosaurs or something." I don't know.
Well, he said they try to grow their operation to make to reach more people, but it's like you don't need Rolexes to reach everybody on Earth. We have an internet.
Well, you've suddenly realized what everybody realized about televangelists like 20 years ago. Would Jesus wear Rolex?
Mm-hmm.
That's what was that? Ray Stevens that did that one.
I don't know.
Anyway,
But
so
yeah, what's everybody been up to?
Ben, as the guest, you go first.
well, at the moment I'm
Yeah, sure.
correcting. Right at the moment, I'm correcting some lines in Toon Boom Harmony for a project, because when you use the pencil tool, it does strokes and then it styles out the width of the strokes, so it's like they're just all a path, and the problem is it connects like adjoining ones awkwardly. So there's all kinds of individual lines that shouldn't be there, and I'm trying to optimize and smooth and fix it because I guess it would have been better, I guess, if I'd had my pencil tool on line building mode. Are you having a seizure, Frank? Are you okay? You alright, bro?
What?
Okay. So anyway, I'm optimizing and smoothing some lines that have been giving me trouble. Some like little tags and overhangs and whatnot.
Yeah, he's doing the cheater's way of pinstriping, Frank.
Oh, it's not a cheater if you knew how many hours I'd put into drawing these lines. I drew them all by hand, and now they are got all these little extra points. You know what I'm talking about, Ian, with like vertices and little points on the line. You gotta finagle with the little handles. And,
I was just listening to California Love there, so
okay.
I found out that with Fubar, if I have it minimized, I can hit play and it'll still play.
Cool story, bro.
Okay.
How funny they'd let you do that for free on YouTube.
What?
On your phone.
What?
Minimize or switch, go to somebody else, and it still play.
If you get the Firefox for your phone, it used to be if you just had Firefox and you went to YouTube, you could minimize it. Then they stopped, but now there's a plugin you can download for Firefox for your phone. They'll let you do that.
Yeah, I noticed they must have caught on to that because, the Firefox just by itself didn't work anymore. It does on Chrome, though, if you select request desktop site. It'll even give you like a little player when you turn off your phone, and then you have that screen with all your notifications and stuff.
Really?
It would do that on iOS, but I think they caught on to that too recently. So you gotta have to like fiddle with it a certain way. Also, that they can charge you to get that functionality with YouTube Red.
Right.
It's like maybe you should just actually have this feature rather than charging extra for it.
No.
I don't know.
I gotta make money somehow. I want money. I want your money. Okay.
Yeah, because nobody's actually paying for it for the content, right?
No.
Well, YouTube is like in the red, so they kind of. I didn't even intend that to be funny. I mean, it's like it's costing Google billions of dollars a year. So.
Well, you know what else is costing a lot of money? Netflix is in the hole.
What? They're $2 billion. What was it? $2 billion in the hole or 200
I thought it was
billion?
20.
Something billion. I know there was a 2 in it, but
I know it had 2 in it.
Billion.
Netflix.
With a B.
In depth.
Millions?
No, I thought it was with a B. Billions. Yeah, 20 billion.
Well, why make billions when we can make millions?
Dr. Evil, this is 1967. That kind of money doesn't even exist. It's like saying I want to get $1 billion.
Netflix is committed to spending $20 billion on future content, but it's not a big deal. What? I mean, they got to be doing something right because people watch their horrible, horrible shit.
What?
There are shows that are no fucking good that people watch.
Oh, gee, I'm sorry, Frank. You didn't know this after Fuller House started?
I don't watch that shit. My wife put on one episode, and I said,
"The
"I'm
thing
out."
is, Frank, that all the bad shows subsidize the good content on there versus other streaming content that is far inferior to such.
Have you seen On the Ranch?
No,
it's got
I haven't watched much of anything. I haven't had much time or anything.
It's got what's his name, Kelso. What's his real name?
Ashton Kutcher.
Ashton Kutcher, and
Ashton Kutcher.
And what the fuck's the other guy? Is it Sam Elliott, the old guy?
Okay.
The dude abides. Take it easy down there for all the
guy with the mustache.
Yeah, he plays his dad. Because that's believable, right?
Right.
I don't know, Frank. Remember when Burt Reynolds played Jason Statham's dad? That was
Oh
that was
Lord.
the most believable casting I'd ever seen.
Okay.
Well, Ben, you're doing that now, but what have you been up to in the past though?
In the past,
This past week?
this past week, oh, I've been working on that. I've
Yeah.
been trying to figure out some JavaScript coding for a thing. It should be easy to call up, but I don't speak JavaScript fluently, so,
You
unlike
don't,
unlike the
noob.
dude in White and Nerdy, who I'm assuming is supposed to be Weird Al, but I cannot guarantee. I don't want to assume.
Why nerdy?
Are we gonna
So-
catch you, White and Nerdy?
Oh boy. Anyway, so I've been doing that.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, fussing with stuff. How about you guys?
I was gonna say, yeah, you were on Doug's show for the first time on
Oh.
Sundays.
Not the first time, but the first time that he's been on recently.
Feels like the
Yeah, well, his remake,
This is the remix.
and yeah. So, well,
I
like
heard
I
you rage
invited
quit.
Doug. Yeah, he rage quit, and I invited Doug
Oh.
on tonight, so might be more of that tonight.
That was not what happened. He pulled a Bill O'Reilly on me and muted my mic, so I flipped him off and left because I'm not going to have somebody talk over me and tell everybody what I believe. Because that's some bullshit. So when I say if Doug joins us tonight, everybody turn and go, cut his mic, cut his mic. Pull a Bill O'Reilly. That's what you do. So, you having fun there, Frank? Franklin?
Huh?
You know there are other people on the show, right?
Kinda.
Frank wants to get to what he's been up to. I think.
I've been up to nothing really.
Well, I could tell you that.
Yes, you have. You been buying monitors and stuff. You've been
I
just
bought
like
a monitor on
making it
eBay.
rain dollars for those monitors,
Yeah.
the ultra wides.
He's been chocolate raining it? What?
He's been making it rain.
That ties into my theme for battle stations this week.
Oh, what ultra wides?
Monitors. More
Oh, okay.
screens.
Uh,
I used to have, there's a meme, it was a picture of Wendell from, at the time it was Tech Syndicate, when he was rocking that display with like 4 or 5 monitors just coming out at you, and all you see is his eyes, and he was like fucking Wilson from Home Improvement. You just see his eyes peeking over, and it says, need more screens. Loved it. But anyway.
Did you get that 16K thing that Linus did? Because that actually made news too.
Oh, it made the news?
Yeah. Well, at least tech news and shit.
I
As an Artechnica.
I saw the I saw both videos because he was I know everybody said I gave you whatever these were in his picture of blue balls. So yeah, I watched it. I saw that shit. I said shit. I thought 8K
pretty
was more
crazy.
impressive because it was like wider screens.
Oh yeah.
What size were those anyway?
I
Talking
don't
about
know.
yourselves. I'm looking it up right now.
Well, I know they had well, for the 8K screen, that I forget which company made it, but it actually did have to be 4 individual screens, but they had like try to make it like as bezel-less in the middle as they could, so it's pretty much like screen was just touching the screen, you know.
screen.
Hey,
touch
but-
screen.
oh, they were 27
Sounds hot.
inch. Minus 8K.
Yeah, Linus actually is like you almost need like a separate desk because this is just like a mount for the actual desk was pretty much just a mount for the giant screen rack, you know. It's like a grid of 4x4 screens.
Screens.
Okay, they were
Oh man.
LG 4Ks. Probably just 27 inches. I don't know. He just put LG 4K. Okay. Anyway. So, what's Ian been up to?
You haven't been up to anything else, just working, coming home?
Work. Sleep a little bit.
Did you sleep today?
Man, every night.
No, I worked.
Oh, that's right. Today's Friday.
Yeah, I work. And then I went to the barber today after work. And then I went to Taco Bell. And then I came home, ate my Taco Bell. And now I'm talking to you bungholes.
If for those of you, like, if you kept watching us after we left from Fridays to Saturdays, and we're back on Fridays now, but if you didn't even notice, then congratulations.
Right. How are you going to notice if you don't watch this shit live?
So why are you guys back on Fridays?
Because it doesn't work.
It doesn't work for Frank.
And I'm half the show, so...
Yeah.
The thing with Saturdays is I sit up on Friday nights anyway, and even if I don't, Saturday, it kind of limits what we can do, because by the time we remember that, oh shit, I gotta be somewhere, we gotta hurry home. So it kind of makes for a not so fun, laid back atmosphere.
Right.
I can't enjoy my Saturday if I have to do the show. Don't ask me why. If I could do it on Friday night, it's cool, because then Saturday is just whatevs. You know,
Right.
like if I go see Ben, shit, I gotta do the show.
Why don't you just like actually do the show here with me, Frank?
No,
Is it
no,
because you're too.
I'm already visiting you. That's enough.
I don't even like you that much. What?
I don't want to sit next to you and talk to you and stuff,
I don't have to pretend like I like you or anything.
right?
That's
I understand. Frank wants to sit in the comfort of his dark cave.
Well, that's the other thing.
Oh,
If
man,
the show
babe.
goes for 4 hours, like it tends to do,
Yeah, you're only gonna catch me on it once every like 6 times.
well, that's the thing. If I go to Ben's house and we're already there for say we get there at noon, and we're over there hanging out, oh shit, it's time to do the show. From noon to another, from whenever we start the show to another 4 hours. No. And and my poor wife would have to sit on the couch just. He's doing a thing down there.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what happens. It's more along. It's like, can you believe those 2 assholes? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you married him, so.
She did marry you. She married me.
No, she married you, and if you're sitting around, well, that's your problem.
So basically, yeah. It I
I
said,
like how
I can't,
Frank's excuse is, don't make my poor wife sit at your house. That's terrible. How you monsters?
okay, Ben. So you want to sit and talk to Mom for 4 hours?
No.
And you live there and shit.
That's the point, Frank. I live here. I wouldn't want to have to extend the time more. Are you crazy?
But no, and like when I mow the grass, I cut the grass at say 7 o'clock when it's dusk, and get done at that at like 8. A quick shower from 8, 8 to 8:30, and run and get ready for the show. Well, I won't have time to won't have time to mow the grass at my leisure.
Want to mow the grass and
Yeah.
then maybe jerk off in the shower, like
Right.
you do.
Wait, what?
That's what it sounds like you're going on about.
Anyway, so
Well,
no, I
I-
haven't. Huh?
I was just surprised Ben came on as fast as he did, because I clicked the invite and he was like right on there.
Yeah, isn't tonight date night, Benjamin?
Yeah, just talking to my girlfriend on Skype till I'm gonna head out and do stuff with her. So, so you guys better make this interesting, because you don't know how long you got me here.
There he goes with the. You got to entertain, even though I'm on the show too.
Hey, I quit hosting this sumbitch. I'm a guest, so
Okay. Well, Ian, is it time
entertain
for some
my
battle
ass.
stations?
Oh no, I didn't talk about me yet.
Oh, I thought you did. I'm sorry. I'm self-absorbed.
yeah, a little bit.
It's okay. That
Not really,
happens.
but
Um, yeah, well, I mean, I really wasn't up to much. I'm still working on a lot of these uh, ISOs for my thumb drive because I'm fighting to try to get all of them to be bootable. Like especially like the earlier ones. Like I have to go back and find like boot disks and shit.
We got to go
For, like
back.
Windows
Marty.
95,
Oh.
98.
How many? Really? You're gonna have all those on there?
Yeah, well, I was gonna have Windows 1 to Windows 10 on here
What? Why?
just for a collection. I was gonna do
Yeah,
that.
shit's
I was
a
gonna
game.
have Linux and everything. I wanted this to be like the ultimate boot drive. That would be pretty cool.
All right.
I was actually gonna try running them up on some VMware or something because that's what a lot of people do, I guess. Just dick around with them.
Yeah. I don't know. Have you ever seen the software archives on archive.org?
No.
Because they got like they archive a bunch of older stuff. Like I saw a bunch of old like very old Mac stuff on there and a bunch of old Amiga stuff. I don't know what all's there and what's official and what stuff is vaporware, abandonware, quote unquote. Yeah.
Right.
What all's just kind of there, the legal gray area of maintaining it.
Yeah. A lot of this stuff can be. Especially like finding like older ISOs of operating systems and shit. You know.
Yeah, it's like what are we gonna do when like the operating system you have to use the in store to download it and like the store file's gone now. Yeah.
Right. Still illegal even if you can't get it anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
How about you, Frank?
What's up? What?
Seeing if
No,
you
you're
have any
talking
commentary.
about a boot drive, and then you're like, "How about you?" And I'm like,
Well,
"What OS
just
do
seeing
I
your
use?"
thoughts on legalities of software and whatnot, but
Oh, I mean, there's the term abandonware. I mean, if no one else is doing anything with it,
well,
Right.
Anyway,
But yeah, I ordered that RAM finally. Frank talked me into getting some RAM.
well, it's not as much I talked him into as I said, "You're gonna regret not getting it." So,
Right.
it'd be
Well,
more
plus
hassle.
it was more. It was more expensive. It was slightly more expensive on Amazon, but Amazon was charging me like $20 for tax now. They're getting you with the tax a lot more. It seems like now.
Yeah, he was like, "Should I get RGB RAM or non-RGB RAM?" I said, "Okay, you're gonna want the RGB RAM. So if you get the non-RGB, then you're gonna want it and get the shit anyway, and then you're gonna have to figure out what to do with your non-RGB RAM."
Well, it's just the RAM was a little bit faster, and it was like, I think is Corsair like a better brand than G-Skill? You think?
Corsair does a lot of things. What does G-Skill usually make?
I just thought they make like RAM and like
And what
a
else?
couple other things. I don't know.
That's a good question. Let me go to the internets. What
well,
does
this show's gonna go on forever if we keep
G-Skill-
sidetracking.
Hey,
Well, we're talking about me, Ben.
right?
That's okay.
No, I was talking about the RAM. Like,
Well, I was trying to explain to him like what because this was important to me to get my computer fixed, to get it a new computer bill. You know.
I'm
And
not, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like every time we go, Frank has to go. Entertain yourselves. I'll be back.
Well, Ben,
Okay,
Google is fast these days. So they make RAM, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they make solid state drive. Well, in 2014 and 2008, they made solid state drives, and they made a keyboard in 2015, and in 2015 they made a mouse. But this is how old the 08 they made a SATA 2.5 solid state drive with 32 or 64 gig capacity. That's
All right.
RAM now. You get 32 gig or 64 gig of fucking RAM.
Yeah.
RAM tough. RAM tough.
But yeah, I also ordered the cooler too. It has 6 pipes, just like Frank's cooler does for the CPU cooler.
Pipes.
Cool.
But the only thing is the Cooler Master makes separate AM4 brackets for each thing, so it's like I had to order a bracket from them, and it was free, but then they charge you $7 in tax. It's like, why don't you just charge the $7 and then just be like, it's free shipping?
RAM.
Very misleading.
RAM.
Well, I like when something is like real cheap, but then shipping is like $4,000.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
For $2, $17 shipping. What?
Well, that I like it when they game like the like the Amazon and Google, lowest price, but then shipping is like more than the. It's silly.
Silly.
Oh, you're selling it for $1, but the shipping is $27. No.
So, what else have you been up to, Mr. Ian?
That's about it. I've been waiting for that. I'm still on my XP machine, as you guys could tell. I was having some problems with my 8350 computer because I was noticing after I put everything together, the computer was it was like booting up, and then was like just automatically turn off for some reason.
Uh-oh.
And then so like I tried to readjust some things in there, like refit some connections, and then it was turning off, but before it was doing that, it was like beeping and stuff like a certain amount of times. And I looked it up, and I guess there's like certain beep codes or something that Asus boards have. And I was trying to look at that, so like I completely disconnected everything, and then like I try to reseat and like I rearranged the RAM modules and stuff, and it seemed like it worked. Like I just had the computer plugged in and with no monitor, and it seemed like it was staying on, but I had to go and work on something else, and then it's kind of like you get scared of just like wanting to turn the computer back on, so it's like I've been preoccupied with trying to preoccupy my stuff with other things,
Gotcha.
Because you're afraid you go to turn it on and it won't turn on the next time. I've been there before.
Yeah. I'm just scared because I'll have to replace the motherboard, but which I don't have the money for because I was spending all the money on my new computer. So.
And that's rough.
And but hey, maybe it'll give me an excuse to get a different motherboard with an RGB header on this motherboard too.
Well, like I said, my motherboard has RGB built into the board.
Yeah,
so not a header. It's just lights.
Oh yeah. Right. Well, I don't know. I think this motherboard, the new one that I bought does. So it's like I have the motherboard, RAM, the video card will have it, and then I have the LED strips I'm going to put in there. Well, so it's like I wonder if they'll ever make like RGB like cords or something.
I mean, why not? Like fiber optic, probably.
Yeah, I know they make an RGB power supply. I saw that.
Yeah, and they make RGB mouse pads, and they make an RGB like mug and coaster set. But they only gave that, like Razer made it and gave like so many of them away. Bitwit had one and reviewed it. Don't tell Doug, because you put a drink in here in your computer.
Oh yeah, yeah. I don't think Ben wasn't there for that. That was funny.
Yeah.
What happened now?
We were doing the battle stations, and the guy had a bottle of Jameson. He's like, "What's he got that Jameson by his computer for?" I go, "To drink Jameson by his computer, because he's a grown up. You don't put drinks near electronics. That's just asking for trouble." I'm like, "I have a cup right by my thing right now."
So
your
you
computer?"
admit that you drink
And-
by your computer.
And I was like, yes, I do. Yes, right.
Now, Frank, you see, we're supposed to have sippy cups, so like kids, if we spill it, it doesn't leak out. Then
He's like, what if it spills onto your computer? I said, Doug, my computer's on feet. Only way it would really get wet is if I poured it onto it, like Homestar Running or pouring Mountain Dew onto a computer.
Well,
You're a-
folks, let's just remember that Frank did used to have a mallet collection on a shelf above his bed,
Yeah,
and that went where you think it was going. So
yeah. But anyway, back on track. I also noticed you asked him like how his setup was, and he says, "Oh, I'd smoke you guys with his computer setup. He's got a Mac Mini."
is it a smoking Mac Mini?
Okay. So but anyway,
this is getting long in the tooth, right?
is it time for the battle station, sir? I want to hear my lovely theme song as garbled as this will come out.
Let's hear the
Yeah.
dubstep remix of Frank's theme.
Man your battle stations. Man your battle stations. Station.
Yeah, that actually wasn't too bad.
Yeah, that sucked. Just kidding.
Yeah, but that's not the computer's fault.
Oh,
Oh snap!
Oh snap!
Shots
Shots
fired!
fired,
Pew,
shots
pew,
fired.
pew, pew.
Okay, hold on. Let me. How many did you have this week, Ian?
I had 5.
No, battle station.
Oh, I just had 3.
Hold on, let me pull it. I gotta look here. I don't know where the hell. I don't think I have them all open. Damn it! What's wrong with me?
We don't have time to get into all that, Frank.
Shut up, Ben.
Yeah, this was actually hard to find in the retro stations subreddit because most of them were like just like a picture of part of the tower or just like an old monitor.
Oh,
And I was actually trying to find like a really cool setup like with a whole bunch of stuff, like
well, if I think if you go in regular battle stations, people have been posting throwback pictures. I think you gotta do a search for like circa whatever, because then they put circa to the year, and like yeah, one guy's like CRTs were a dime a dozen in 2008, and I'm like, yeah, okay, let me get on the screen shares. Application.
Boom, 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 boom.
Okay.
I wonder if there's any companies that actually manufacture any kind of tube technology anymore.
What, CRTs?
Well, CRTs are just like tube TVs in general.
Oh,
I don't
well,
think
like
so.
I was gonna say, I think there's still companies that make tubes for like amps and stuff, but I don't know
Well,
about.
they make them for. There are places that'll make them for like parts and repair or like industrial reasons. But I think commercial, like CRT monitors, I think are discontinued a few years ago.
Okay. Anyway, so which one did you want to do first? The one with the Model M, the I don't know what the hell you call this thing, or the 3.
Yeah, the 3 one that was the first one that I had on there.
Okay. What the hell is this? Amiga? Atari? Atari. Nice typeface poster. Helvetica. Excuse me. BBS computers. Now, for the uninformed, Ian, what is BBS?
I have no idea, sir.
That would be the bulletin board something, right? Isn't it?
I think so.
I can't remember what the S stands for exactly.
Server?
I think so. It's what Barnacules, when he did his where I came from and how I got on the internet. He used to, when he got his first computer, he used to post on bulletin boards where it would literally call And yeah.
Right.
But
Yeah.
anyway,
Marcus, he's definitely dropping, man.
you think
It's sad.
he's dropping?
Well, like his, just his whole YouTube presence and stuff, and his like,
Well, he's been injured and he's been going to Twitch. Last couple of ones I pay attention though, he's canceled because of whatever reasons.
yeah.
You follow him on Twitch? He's on there every morning.
No,
Supposed
well,
to be.
he just does those videos where he's like talking or whatever, right? Where
Yeah.
it's just like, where it's more of like a vlog or whatever.
You don't want to see him talking. You want to see him blowing shit up, huh?
No, I just want him to see like a video about where it's video about one specific thing,
Mm.
Not just a whatever shooting the breeze kind of thing.
Not what we're
Yeah.
doing, huh?
Right. Like what we do and that other kind of stuff is like you gotta just put some headphones and listen to that while you're doing something else,
Gotcha.
That's what I'm doing.
We're not gonna. If we were listeners listening to our show, we wouldn't just be like glued to the screen. Oh yeah, what are they gonna do next? What are you guys doing?
Hey guys, what's up?
Hour 3 is when they really hit their groove, man. I swear. All right, so this
Right.
guy's got 3
It's
machines
not like it's Final
here.
Fantasy, Frank.
He's got 3 machines.
Yeah.
What does that say? Modem on the desk. Oh. I got my text really large here because I was trying to scroll through images with the.
No, you better put that down to 4K size, Frank.
I have that image thing where it makes shit bigger, and I was trying to scroll through them, and yeah. Anyway,
So you have Image Viagra?
yeah. Well, because when you're on battle stations, the thumbnail is so fucking small you can't see what you're doing. But boy, he's got a bunch of shit underneath there, buddy.
Yeah, that was. I figured you would notice that, but yeah, that was the. That was the. What do you call that? Just like a eyesore down there,
Yeah, he like tried to pan the camera up as high as he could. He's like, I don't want to, don't let him see that exposed, tore up tower I got down there. Shit. Trying to figure out what that adapter thing is he has right there next to his computer on the right.
Yeah, I
That
don't
blue
know.
cable hanging off.
But hey, at least he's still staying true to the game with those sloppy wires because, let's be honest, cable management is actually more of a newer thing.
Yeah,
You
I
know?
mean, now people didn't care about. I mean, you only cared about it then when it became such a problem. Like, fucking hell, where's some zip ties?
Yeah, and
Tripping
even
over shit.
then it was just kind of just to put them together a little bit,
I like how he
Right.
gave the one system a little hat.
What? The one on the right? That's a joystick.
It looks like a little hat. Looks like a little sombrero with like a beanie ball.
No, that's a joystick, Ben.
I know.
Oh, that's not a joystick. That's something else.
It's a joystick, all right.
Yeah.
So the other station here, man, his whole outfit here is cool, man. He's got all kinds of crazy shit. I want to check out this room. This is like, okay, so his desk, even if he didn't have all this cool shit sitting on the desk here, the side of the desk has these buttons and this key in it. And like, this looks like a classroom or something. I don't,
What do you
Yeah.
say? You can't live in a classroom?
I mean, every time we drive past, there's an old school down the street from my house, so we drive by on our way to work, and I told my wife, I'm like, someday, honey, if it isn't closed down for asbestos hazard, we're going to buy that building, and I'm going to fucking live on the one side.
And
You
she'll
can take the
live
other
back
side.
in her house because she's like, no, that's stupid, honey.
And
No,
this,
it's like Frank, like it's like with vampires where they're like they hate the light. It's like with classrooms, he's like,
Well, actually, this one web cartoonist, the company, because it's mostly one guy and his brother, but the folks who run Keen Spot, they like moved to some place and like took over an old school building and like live and work in it. So,
well, this is a really like how this is still together. I mean, granted, none of this could probably be might not be working. It's not turned on or anything, but the fact that it's not tore apart or thrown away.
So you don't see a photo of it working. So Frank's gonna order it on eBay, and
only if I get it confused with the one that says like new, works fine. And then over here, this one he's kind of more or less just got some.
that's kind of cheating a little bit, right?
Yeah, he's got the peripherals. Like
I
he's
like
got
it has that classic drink.
Yeah, it makes me want a
wallpaper.
cup of water.
Yeah, makes me feel like I'm in grade school again.
And he's got a trackball and an IBM Model M. It looks like I'm not the most up on IBM.
Specs.
Is that like a Saved by the Bell background or something?
No, that's that's the water cup like logo. Paper water cup. I think if I just Google that. Yeah, see? It's that.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you can order these. Let's see how much they are. Let's see, $210 a case, or $7 a TB. What the fuck's a TB other than terabyte? But yeah, I've drank out of those. Oh, those are solo cups. Wow. Red solo cup. I fill you up. Okay. Anyway. Where the hell's the damn... Okay. So that's what he's got for a theme here.
Yeah.
And he's got a Windows tablet there. He's got... I had one of those fans back in the day, but just because when I had my 500 gig hard drive, it started overheating, and I found out if I put a fan in front of it, it would stay on longer. So I don't want to. He's got a thing of Purell. Are those like squirt bottles with alcohol in them or something? I don't.
Yeah, sure. That's alcohol.
Well, I mean, why would you need multiple squirt bottles with caps for water?
I was like, they're for lotion.
No.
Because it puts the lotion on its skin.
He doesn't have a thing of tissues within reach, guys. Duh.
Well,
Duh.
you're assuming though this is a neat guy.
Well, how do we know he's not using those to like clean like the keys and the trackboard and stuff when trackball and stuff when you
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, Ben. I want to know what the fuck this shit on the desk does. Does it just power everything on and off right there?
That's where you press the button and Batman comes to your office.
Man, and look at the shit you could print from this printer, man.
Oh man, letters from Strong Bad and everything.
I stood like in college. We had it's not even a printer at that point. It was called a plotter, and it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, back when I was taking CAD, and we would do our prints, and it would print it out on a plotter, and it was fucking huge.
That's what she said.
But did you see Linus' video about like PS2 versus USB?
No.
Yeah. Well, he said it could be like more reliable and have a better latency, actually, than USB.
Huh.
Because with USB, the computer is like constantly checking.
Yeah, it's pulling it versus an interrupted signal straight from the CPU. Yeah, I wanted initially when I built my rig, I wanted a PS2 connection because even the fastest gaming mouse still isn't straight hardwired to the CPU. But I bought adapters to convert my mouse and keyboard to PS2, but they were cheap, eBay 30-cent ones that didn't fucking work. My motherboard had designated gaming ports for mouse and keyboard, which are supposed to be faster. Same with this one. Instead of like I think it was PS3 or not PS, USB 3. I think not like C, but like the red ones because or no 3. Which one's 2 is blue, right? Or
I
no?
think so.
No, or is it 3?
Not blue is 3. I'm pretty sure.
Hold on, let me. USB colors.
Yeah, I remember when everything was like color coded blue when it came out.
Here we go. White is 1, 2 is black, 3 is blue. So what the hell is red?
Maybe that's a FireWire port or something.
Well, what the hell? No, it's a USB because my mouse and keyboard are connected to it.
Well, then that's a rogue manufacturer then.
Cheap and chart. That's odd. Ben, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm getting ready to go call my girlfriend. So, I was hoping.
Okay, man.
I was figuring you guys would get back to the judging, but it's like, yeah.
Well, I mean,
That's all right.
Yeah, because
What-
I haven't even touched mine yet.
yeah. What of these retro stations do you like, though, Ben?
Well,
Yeah, hold on, let me get
see
back
them all
to
in
them.
context. What 3 do we have? Real
We
quick.
got this one,
Mhm.
this one, and then this guy.
Well, what makes the last one retro other than the keyboard and like the controller?
The trackball.
Well, I mean, the first one kind of reminds me of a school computer lab, but then the second one is like, it reminds me of like somebody's garage in like the 70s when they're building something. So I'd probably go second, then the first one, and then that last one, because that last one's just.
The last one's cheating, right?
Well, it's just basically I got this old keyboard and I'm gonna hook it up to these newer machines because I don't know.
Yeah. There wasn't any pictures of the tower or anything, was there, Frank, on that?
No, hell, it might all be hooked up to that Surface or whatever the hell it's called.
Right.
So I would say my favorite is this one, the all-room classroom looking shit, and then second would be the one with 3 computers, and this one's
So it's the same as Ben.
pretty
Well,
much.
Yeah, same as me. I just
And Ian, how about you?
Yeah, I would probably. I would go with this, with the same thing. I mean, I like the third one, but I mean, I guess you gotta take points off for the newer shit, you know.
It's
like having an emulator on your computer. It's like, hey, it's an old system. Yeah, but I could do that in like 5 minutes too.
Here's the question though: if the cables weren't like that on the desk, do you think that would have more of a chance,
what, this?
Frank?
No.
No, the first one,
Oh.
the one with the 3. Yeah, that
No,
one.
because the other one, those I go, okay, I can play Oregon Trail or call up a BBS or whatever, but like this one, I'm like, what does all this do? Even the chair I'm sitting in, oh my god, what is this? So yeah, this one's more interesting to me because there's a whole room like this thing in the background. Why are we not talking about this? Look at this! Look at this fucking thing! Look at it!
Yeah, what is that thing back there?
Look at this other thing. It's a cap with cables and shit on it. What?
It's Doc Brown's lab, okay?
I was thinking
Jeez.
that. I'm like, there's a tape deck over here, and shit. What the fuck are we even looking at? What even is?
It's like you're in your Fallout lair, Frank.
Yeah. So we're all in agreement. Would you like to see mine before you head out, Ben, or you got a boogie?
How long is it gonna take you to show it?
I only got 3.
Yeah, well, Ian only had 3 too, but you know.
Yeah.
Well, we'll try not to get sidetracked with this.
All right,
Right.
well, let's make it snappy then, Frank, and I'll try and.
Okay,
and-
hold on. I saved the comments so in case Ian wants to. Well, he says we're not gonna give these guys any credit. These are all archive posts anyway, so I'll just open the link here. No need to have the comments page open. Okay, so this guy said I was perfectly happy with 3 monitors, but then I tried portrait. By the way, my theme for this week is monitors because monitors.
Monorail.
Monitors.
Monorail.
Monorail. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, first off, I don't approve of speakers on the floor. Look like a fool with your speakers on the floor.
I wonder if they'll ever come out with like a modular monitor.
Well, remember they're doing Mosaic with what Linus was looking at, so.
Yeah. Well, if they do something like that, they definitely have to get rid of as much bezel as you could, especially if it's like smaller chunks, you know,
Right.
or squares or whatever.
Now, see, this guy's got all this crazy shit here, and a big ass printer, and like, I had to look at this for a minute before I realized like these monitors here are like silver or white. And I mean, I wouldn't even thought to put these portrait monitors in the middle. I mean, I wouldn't have thought of that. It's cool. I like it because it's different. I mean, I can even forget the speakers being down there because they go, hey, it's an AWA. I had an AWA too. Because he's got an old stereo down here. If you notice, he's got like a record in the corner, some fucking rocks for some reason. And like, I mean, this is an older post. It's from 2013, so it's not new, but you know, it's cool. And then the second one, he's got 4 monitors, but he did portrait also. I think he's.
What? I was like, where's the 4th one? Because I couldn't. It was kind of hard to tell with the wind in front of the window. It's all white.
Right. Oh, not when you said hard to tell from the window. This isn't for judging, but that made me think of this one. Look at
Oh well.
that. It's like that shit's in his front, you know, out his window. Okay, but anyway.
Monitorception.
Right, but no. So
Well, there's a whole theme of making your backgrounds the scene behind your monitor so it looks like it's clear.
right.
Yeah.
But yeah, my girlfriend said I got 5 minutes, so
Oh, we should be good by that.
Yeah.
yes,
I only got, so I don't have, this is only the one picture of this. And then the last one I have is a Noctua, which is, you know, the fans with their weird color combo. HD 598s, which are the Sennheiser headphones, which have the same color setup, and coffee theme build. So he's got a coffee, you know, wallpaper. He's got like a burlap looking curtains there, a nice wood grain desk, and then if you look, he's got his monitor sitting. I actually approve this setup here because he doesn't have an arm, but he's got it sitting on these books, and if you notice, they're like a cream and like the deep, rich cherry looking color, and then he's got a Naga mouse, which whatever. But when you look at the see, he's got the Noctua fan, he's got his wallet sitting there, which matches the theme. See, the headphones, like I was saying, are that brown and cream color. He's got the keycaps on his keyboard, so that even matches. See, Noctua. I mean, it looks good together, I think, because you know the wood with the brown. It and then he's got a, you know, excuse me. but and I guess at one time he was running these monitors. Currently, he's got a Samsung monitor here. It looks like. Well, I say currently 2015, but
Well, what?
in this,
Why is that one picture? There's just one monitor though.
I think he upgraded air quotes there because it's a Samsung versus these. If I get all the way down there, yeah, these I don't even see a name on them anywhere. They're just but yeah, he had them on wood stands that he made. So
okay, yeah, I was gonna say what you said. This was supposed to be monitor thing. Where's the monitor?
we'll see. I looked up monitors and it was tagged because of his older setup where he had all these monitors, and you know it can. I'm going backwards to say that you don't always have to have 1,000 monitors. I mean, I like 1,000 monitors. Don't get me wrong; it looks cool as hell. But
And I would like 1,000 monitors, and I would like 1,000 more.
right, but you know, one that's done well can class it up. I mean, if it were me personally, I'd have sprung for an ultra wide. But that's the only thing I would have done different. Other than that, I think it's nice. He's got his headphones hanging up there, and you know, he's got daylight coming in through the window. So yeah, so that's my third setup for the night. So for open voting, we got Battle Station 1, Battle Station 2, and Battle Station 3. Both
For
versions.
me, it's 312.
So, are you rating the first one as your 3, or are you saying you like number 3 as your number 1?
In order, three is my number 1. One
This
is
one?
number 2. Yeah,
This is your number 2?
yeah, and then the window one is is number 3.
Oh.
It's
Benjamin,
like,
do you have a vote?
I'm gonna say. What did the middle one look like again? So I'm gonna go with the window one. Maybe the coffee one, and then I think the other one.
Oh, so. Huh. Oh shit! I just closed that. Damn it.
Shit, what do I do?
Okay. Sorry. I like the coffee.
what
not
the hell?
Even though it had one screen at the time.
Even though the theme of this thing is monitors and it only has one, still it.
Well, I'm saying though, he went from a bunch to one, and if I remember this guy here correctly, I think he made these speakers, but that's besides the point. It doesn't always have to have a bunch of monitors to impress, and because whenever I see guys are like, yeah, I downgraded my setup to one monitor, I like it better. I'm like, the fuck is wrong with you? You know, but for his setup, it works. For this one, I like the 3, but this one's more. So this would be my number 2. Coffee's number 1, this number 2, and then this one for 3.
Okay, so you just said what I said.
Okay.
And that Ben chose already then? What was his?
Yeah. I went with that one for my top one, and then I think the coffee for the second one,
Okay.
because the one with those portrait monitors, it just didn't quite, I don't know, didn't really make much sense in context to the others.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
Oh, buddy. Tell your girlfriend we hope she's doing good, and hope you guys have a good night.
Yeah. Date night. Woo! We might watch some more.
Yeah.
I don't know. We might watch some more Mystery Science Theater 3000, the new one.
Oh.
We've slowly been making our way through that. We saw like the second or third one, and she was like, "Well, that was like one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life." I'm like, "Oh, babe, you don't even know." We got ways to go.
She not a watcher of the series, Ben?
No, she's never seen it before, but she liked it when I showed it to her. But it's like she hasn't watched too many bad movies. I'm like, I've seen like the antithesis of a great a great movie. I've seen, a great movie that like will make you, be really proud you saw something and make you think about life and all kinds of positive stuff. I've seen the exact inverse of that, which is like, I don't even know anymore. I don't want to live on this planet. So, anyway, though, I'm gonna get going, guys.
Before you go though, Ben, I was gonna ask you. I don't know if we should do the article, but we were talking. The one article that I kind of did for you was, did you hear about they're doing a Tick live action show?
Again?
Yeah, I'd heard about that. Like I heard they almost got Patrick Warburton to come back for it, but like apparently it didn't work out or something. So I don't know. I've heard mixed opinions of it.
Okay. What do you think about, like, did you like the cartoon and stuff?
I didn't really like watch it a lot because it was on one of those channels I didn't really, like it was on like what was it on, like Fox Kids or something? So
I think
it was
so.
like on like when that Spider-Man show and was it the Amazing Spider-Man, or I don't know. It was, from everything I've heard, it's really good. I just haven't had the time to dive into that or the live action one. So
Right.
Where's that coming to anyway? Netflix or?
It's a good question.
Yeah.
I think it is Netflix, though. It is an original series, I believe.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Well, they say that with Arrested Development, and all they did was take over after it got off of regular TV.
Well, that doesn't matter. They still got it.
It's not an original series, though. It's
It's a new series, just continuing for them. Did you see that alternate ending for Breaking Bad, where they got the mom from Malcolm in the Middle and him, and they filmed a scene where he wakes up in his bed. He's like, I had this horrible nightmare.
No, I didn't see that. Where was that?
It's supposed to be, I guess, on the DVD release, but it made its way to YouTube, and
Oh no, I was wrong. Bennis is streaming on Amazon.
oh well.
A 10-episode season. But yeah.
Cool times, guys. Well, if you see Doug, remember, cut his mic, and you guys have a good weekend.
You too, man.
You too, man.
Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, I'll see you later. Peace out.
Say hi to the lady for us.
Damn right. Catch you later.
Peace out. So yeah.
So, buttons on your underwear? Okay, let me.
Well, let's see how cooperative this is gonna be here.
The news with Ian and some guy. Cream up some young cock. No, it's cream of some young guy. Okay, what's your first story you want to get into, sir? NASA?
Yep.
No, NASA's where NASA they run a sex traffic thing on Mars. Alex Jones said that shit. He meant that shit. Dumb fuck. Okay. NASA is hiring a planetary protection officer. What? To guard us against alien life. What? And vice versa. There's a vacancy at NASA, and it may have one of the greatest job titles ever conceived, Planetary Protection Officer. It pays well, between $124,000 and $187,000 annually. You get to work with really smart people as part of the 3 to 5 year appointment, but don't have to manage anyone. And your work could stave off an alien invasion of Earth, or more important, protect other planets from us. Yeah. Oh, fucking advertisement. Okay. President Trump has expressed bullish enthusiasm for America's space progress, signing an executive order last month resurrecting the National Space Council on hiatus since the 1990s and gleefully discussing the prospect of sending people to Mars. He proposed budget for NASA. His proposed budget for NASA seeks a slight funding reduction overall, though he wants to realign spending to focus on deep space exploration rather than Earth-centric research. Yeah, of course, he doesn't want to. Never mind that we're poisoning the environment. Let's talk about where we can go after we get done poisoning the environment. So, how does the one-person planetary protection officer fit in with the NASA's broader objectives? The job announcement is rather dense, but Catherine Conley, the NASA scientist who has been in this role for 3 years, has spoken candidly about its scope and responsibilities, telling Scientific American in 2014 that her focus is to ensure that the agency's activity complies with a 50-year-old international treaty that sets standards for preventing biological contamination outside of Earth and safeguarding the planet's biosphere from any alien life. To that end, the magazine asked Conley a lot about Mars, where NASA has deployed exploratory spacecraft and robots since the mid-70s to search for clues about the existence of water, prospects for habitability, and any existence of life. The earliest missions, part of NASA's Viking program, included meticulous steps to not sully the Martian landscape, she said. The landers, Conley explained, were packaged and put inside a bioshell and baked in an oven to kill all organisms. A full system sterilization, we call it. We needed to protect the life detection instruments and protect the Mars environment in case it turned out to be habitable to Earth life.
Okay.
One little bit here. Today, rovers operate where it's believed water once existed, gathering imagery, analyzing the environment, and beaming that data back to Earth. And as scientists' understanding of the red planet evolves, so do the questions facing those working to send people there in the coming decades. Will the humans be alive by the time they get to Mars? Conley asked in 2014. If they die on Mars, are they then contaminating the surface? What could interfere with future? That could interfere with future research, she said. Environment and atmospheric samples may hold important answers. Ostensibly, to seek out signs of aliens, as Business Insider's David Mosher writes, but sending anything from Mars back to labs here on Earth presents risk. The Planetary Protection Officer will be instrumental in creating the tools and rules to reduce it. The phrase that we use, Conley told Mosher, is break the chain of contact with Mars. She has not said whether she intends to reapply for the job. Wow. I mean, This is what like summer blockbusters are based on. We've gotten contact from alien life forms, and they're trying to take over. But right now, there's just an empty fucking chair with dust on it.
Right.
Mr. President, the aliens want to speak to us. We'll get the planetary protection officer on the phone. Sir, you didn't appoint one. Shit.
Right.
Yeah,
one thing I found interesting was I read this one like Science Digest. Do you ever read anything from that Quora site?
No. I've seen it, but I don't know. I might have read an article or two, but I don't frequent it.
Well, this one guy asked, like, if you were able to, if you were able to be like that one guy that did like a private space shuttle or whatever, and you were able to go to the moon and then like collect samples and then like sell all that stuff, like, would you be able to do that or whatever? And some people are saying that you could, but it would be heavily taxed depending on like what country you like, like you took off from or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I just find
Right.
that interesting because I'm sure like lunar samples would go for a lot on eBay still. I would think.
Yeah, but then this officer would have to step in and say, now.
Yeah.
I mean, I think their consideration is that they might have spores on them that could be, bad. I don't know.
I collect spores, molds, and fungus.
I sell propane and propane accessories.
Damn it, Baldy.
Damn it, Bobby. I told you once, I told you 1,000 times, hands above the covers.
I wonder if they would ever do like a reunion thing like that or something showing Bobby grown up, what he would look like.
He's not going to live to be that old. He's retarded.
So,
sorry, that's not
send
nice
all your hate
answer.
mail to Frank.
Sorry. He's stupid. Nothing against retarded folk, but Bobby was just fucking stupid.
He was just all corked out. Right?
He was... How he didn't, like, get his foot chopped off on a lawnmower or, fall down a well before he got to be as old as he was on that show, I don't know.
Yeah, I just picture like Bobby growing up and being like a pedophile or something.
Well, accidentally. He won't do it on purpose. He's like Forrest Gump when he stumbled into sex. He didn't know.
Right. Oh, it's terrible.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's a good thing no one listens to this show. Anyway. What the hell were we talking about? Oh, yeah. So Mars. Wow. That's deep shit, man. I stand by my original statement. I think Trump doesn't want us to think about how we're poisoning the environment. He said that he thinks that's all made up by China to, get the country's money. So, right. And he meant that shit. And then he wants us to go to Mars because he knows eventually we're going to have to escape like Krypton before it blew up. And now kryptonite is the one weakness.
Like, okay. He's going to build a wall for the real aliens.
Yeah. Never mind them illegal aliens.
So what we're going to do is we're going to build a giant globe around the planet.
Then blow up the moon. Anyway. Feeling a solar eclipse. What? New book helps the blind see it. In America today, there's an estimated, I scrolled too far, 23.7 million adults that say they either have trouble seeing or cannot see at all. For those living within the 2017 lunar eclipse path of totality, this means they will not be able to enjoy one of nature's most majestic events. That is, until now. Thanks to Runyon and Abedino, or whatever, University professor David Hurd, who authored the book Getting a Feel for Eclipses, the blind and visually impaired can now too take part in the Great American Eclipse of 2017. Getting a Feel for Eclipses, which is a Braille book, teaches users using graphics about the interaction and alignment of the sun with the moon and the earth. The tactile guide also features activities which help provide clarity for the nature of solar eclipses. For 2 decades, both Hurd and Cassandra Runyon, a geology professor at the College of Charleston, have written and produced Braille books about science. With Getting a Feel for Eclipses, Runyon and Hurd hope that, that it will help the blind and visually impaired students to learn more about the track of the eclipse and the geometry surrounding the event, which will take place on August 21st.
It's interesting stuff. I mean, just because I'm visually impaired, I find it interesting.
Right.
But also, like, I just want to have a discussion. Like, what would you think about like how far off do you think we would be to have like like touch screens actually be tactile? Because I remember seeing like a prototype or something for a phone where like it had like certain pouches that would like raise up, like, but they were like is like stationary, so like they really didn't change. But whenever you needed to, you could like the screen would like raise up and be like bumps or something, you know?
Well, you know that movie coming out, Ready Player One, that Spielberg directed, that's based off of a book where everyone lives in a virtual reality MMO because real life is too depressing. And in the book, they have goggles and haptic gloves. So basically, the feedback they get is within the glove, so it doesn't have to take over your whole body. Wherever you move, the glove will sense it and simulate it, which is kind of really, I think, the way it would probably go because it's the cheapest method. You don't have to fill a room with fake stuff or even like you said a screen. You just have to make the glove be able to react as though it's something, and it stays in your hand the whole time. So
Right. Yeah,
that
here we go. This is let me show you the link here. It's tactile keyboards that rise out of touchscreen. So it's like the it's like it's just like they're in a permanent position, so like it doesn't change whenever you like whatever's on the screen. It's like a fixed position type of thing, but
why don't you
it's still something.
I mean, just get a like a keyboard or get a phone with a keyboard built under it. I mean, you
Right.
just need backlight. You don't really need a screen, huh? That seems like you're just asking for shit to disconnect and not work right.
Right.
I mean, it's cool, but I as an owner of the first generation iPhone, I saw how quickly that shit broke.
Yeah.
And that didn't have no fancy, crazy shit like this in it. So,
I just like I like a little bit more buttons on my phone because like it's for one you could do things like without even having to look at it, like if it's in your pocket or whatever. And like a lot of times if you have like a on my LG G4 phone, the buttons are like part of the like the operating system. So like if there's an app that's like sort of like frozen or something, then the buttons are frozen, so you can't even
right. That's how
you
my
can't even do anything,
Pixel is. It's got on-screen buttons, and I do prefer a physical button that you can just keep spamming until shit, responds. But as far as like keys and stuff, I mean, I do everything by voice most of the time. Like if I can't use my hands, I'll press the little microphone button and just tell it what I want. And I mean, I still type, but excuse me. On a phone, it's more convenient just to use my thumb to type stuff. But like on my tablet and stuff, I think I end up using the speech thing more because when you pull up the full keyboard, it takes up the entire fucking screen, and you can't can't see what you're doing anymore. But yeah, my question is, how do you explain the concept of a solar eclipse to someone? Like, I understand you got limited sight, but someone like those, like when we saw that legally blind versus totally blind, someone who has no vision at all, how do you explain the an eclipse to someone that's never seen anything?
Right.
I mean, even like if you
It's like
discuss
explaining what color is to them, you know?
right
Like what's red?
when you explain an eclipse to a regular sighted person, you go, so how when you see the moon, a blind person go, nah, I don't see no fucking moon. What are you talking about? No, see,
Yeah,
and the light passing, but what is light? I mean, and see, a regular light would be the exact same as ultraviolet to them, or not ultraviolet. What's the other one? What's the one that cameras
infrared.
can see? Infrared. That's the word I was looking for. Because the naked eye can't see infrared, but a camera can. So
Yeah,
that's why you'll see a lot of the night vision is just infrared light,
right.
which is kind of crazy. Like I have I have a Wii, and to test the light bar to see if it's working, I actually Tech Syndicate, when they were hooking theirs up to a computer, they said you have to shine your phone at it, and if you'll be able to see the lights on the camera, you won't be able to see it with your naked eye. I go, oh, I didn't even think of that shit.
Yeah.
But
I
yeah,
was
go ahead.
thought it would be cool if they had a camera that could capture like the infrared on a separate like a separate channel or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
like into the alpha channel, because the problem with infrared is like a lot of times infrared is like green most of the time.
Yeah,
That's because they have to put it into a color that we can see. So
right.
it's like
Otherwise, it's just white with a little bit of gray.
well, it's you could either it depends on like with whatever camera transforms that information to, but like on my DSLR,
Mm-hmm.
it could see infrared, but it's like red, and that's what most DSLRs do. I think is red, but most like video recorders are green. It's just they just choose whatever channel to
I think
put
my
the
phone.
information in.
I think my phone just does like white. I think,
Yeah.
which is real weird.
Uh, I just think it'd be interesting. I wonder if they have ever tried to make like a display or something that just displays like infrared, even though you can't really see it.
Right. I mean, it's just like, I mean, that's got to be hard work what they're doing there. Because I mean, if you were born without the ability, to see, then it's hard to explain it in concepts that you'll understand. I guess. I mean, it'd be hard for me to put into terms that make sense to me, and I could see shit.
Well, I'm trying to look. They kind of left us blind because it's like I don't think they have any pictures of the thing on here.
What, the books?
Yeah.
I mean, they're in Braille. You know what Braille looks like? It's just dots.
Well, I thought it was like raised pictures or something.
No, no, Braille is a series of dots.
uh,
Like, hold on, because like you'll see. Oh, it's two L's. Yeah, it's just looks like this. Blow it up. Well, that doesn't fucking help. Yeah, that guy there is he's reading Braille.
I know. Yeah, I know they have those on the elevators.
Yeah, like a
With the
bathroom.
buttons.
I only noticed them on the bathroom, like men, women. Oh, I think I told you before. I play that game Go, which recently, like a computer has finally beat an AI, or an AI has finally beat a human. Sorry, I misspoke. So like,
You mean like with playing chess and stuff?
well, like, yeah, the other game Go, which has more, there are more probabilities on a Go board than there are on chess.
But it's the same game though.
No,
I never heard of it.
you don't remember that when the AI came out? Hold on. No, I
Would
got
you like to play a game?
right. here's the board it's traditionally played on. Or like I have one of the I have several of these.
Mm.
It's the moves are on the intersections, and a traditional size is 19 by 19. That means 19 lines horizontally and 19 lines diagonally.
Right.
Not diagonal. Is that the word I'm looking for? Yeah, it's diagonal. Anyway, um, and it's a very the rules are very simple, but getting really good at it takes a long time. I've played it for a number of years myself, and I'm not that good. What you're doing is you're walling off sections of the board, and whoever has the most sections equating to the most points wins. And
Right.
like I said, just recently, the super computers finally were able to beat the best human players, which hasn't been a thing for a long time. And I totally forgot. I read recently that blind people play a form of this, but the board, since they only play on the intersections, the stones, like literally on a regular set, the black pieces are actual slate, and the white pieces are seashell.
Right.
Um, on a board for blind people, I guess they're plastic. They snap onto the intersections, and the different colored pieces, the black piece will have like a raised texture to it, and they will feel the board, and they'll be able to feel where they are. I can't imagine playing this game if you can't see.
Right.
I mean, there are professionals there are people that make a living playing this game. By the way, in Asian countries, but you have to be a registered professional. Sometimes they just teach the game; they don't actually just play it. But there are professionals that will play this game, and they'll play with one color, and they will just be able to tell where their last move was, where the opponent's last move was, because they played it enough. I can't fucking do that.
Right.
I tried
Well, I
it.
mean, that's one way to think about it, though. Like, if depending on how rough or smooth the surface is, that's would be kind of like a color, because you could do like gradations of like if it's really shiny or if it's like really rough, you know.
Mm-hmm. Like, where's? I'm trying to find an actual. That's travel board. I don't want that. But I recently just found out about how the blind people play it. Oh, is this one of their? Okay, here's one for the visually impaired. Okay, is it page? Yeah, this guy here he's blind, and that's not the best picture of the set. Here we go. I guess they're teaching him how. Hey, I was right. The black ones have a little raised bump. But yeah, that would be hard. And then, like, when you completely surround a stone, it's captured, and you take it as a prisoner. So the space it occupied counts as 1 point, and the prisoner counts as 1 point. So you save the stone, and you count the prisoners at the end of the game, so it's worth 2 points. And just remembering where the hell you put your prisoners in the lid of your bowl, but even just doing that when you're blind would be challenging, I would think.
Yeah.
But yes, that's if you'd never even seen, how do you explain that? I can understand playing it, like, because the shit gets complicated. Like, right here is one game that was played, and I mean, because like you have to be able to have a certain number of moves where they can't stop you from making moves in that area. And if you're not even good enough, you can't even read whether or not you have that area or not. I mean, like I said, there's games where I play the fucking thing and I'm like, what the hell they do? And I don't understand it. People have to explain it to me. I can't even imagine going into that having never seen, but the board. But people do it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just like chess. you know, they play it. If you're a sighted person, you play it timed. So you do a move, you hit a clock. They do a move, they hit the clock. But you know, I don't think it's timed for blind people. If it is, that's
Yeah.
that's a mean trick. If they, but oh, see, here's blind. Is that blind chess? Yeah, chess for the blind. Whew. She's feeling out. Where's it go? But
Yeah.
anyway,
Yeah, like, it's hard for me to imagine people living like a normal lifestyle when you're blind. You know,
mhm.
like even if you have a seeing eye dog, or even if you have like some kind of assistant. You know.
Right, crossing the street would scare the shit out of me
Yeah.
because the dog's like, I gotta piss," and then you're like, "Oh, so we're stopping?" Boom, hit by bus. But
It's like, what kind of life is that, man?
well, what else do you know? You know,
Well,
what else you gonna what else you gonna do? Give up?
I mean, it's definitely. I would say it's definitely a lot easier if you were always like that versus if you suddenly go blind. That's like a whole load of rocks dumped on you. You know.
Well, did you ever see Ray?
No.
Uh, he was going blind as a child, and his mother basically trained him to walk around by him because he didn't have a cane and he didn't have a dog. And for the most part, until he got older, he was mostly by himself. He got older, plus he had money, so people, of course, want to be around him. But yeah, he could walk around. In the movie, they ask him, they're like, "Man, how do you get around so good without a dog?" He said, "How do you get around so good without a dog?"
Yeah.
But yeah, this is an interesting topic. These people are doing a really good thing. If you couldn't see an eclipse, would you miss it? I mean, you and I know what an eclipse looks like, so I can understand having seen it, I would miss it, but having never seen it, I don't know.
Uh,
It's existential, man. It's deep shit.
uh,
So what's this here about YouTube? Popular
oh,
YouTubes,
yes. So
they
this
active
is
censorship.
this is the latest thing in YouTube's downward spiral of just like trying to shoot themselves in the foot. I think.
I mean,
I mean,
that VidMe website can't be anywhere near as good as YouTube. But if it's more the Wild West and they don't have this crazy shit going on, people will sign up for it. YouTube has announced a new system to catch and flag what it calls controversial, religious, and supremist videos hosted on the platform.
premise.
That's word. Sorry, it's late. The platform plans to hide these videos from wider audiences and demonetize them to prevent their creators from earning revenue from YouTube. The move was met with widespread skepticism from YouTube content creators. The crackdown on offensive content, the company is using a combination of machine learning and volunteer experts. Oh boy, to flag what needs review. It also plans to implement tougher standards for videos that are controversial but do not violate the site's terms of service. What the fuck's the point? YouTube says it isn't going to remove the borderline content entirely, but will instead place these videos in a purgatory state, preventing them from being monetized or promoted. To facilitate these changes, YouTube will artificially alter its search algorithms to prevent offensive topics from discovery. So people aren't going to find shit because people want to see the weird shit. It's just like they're doing stuff that no one asked for, just like Twitter. I saw someone's tweet and then the replies it says this is unavailable because it is content that you do not want to see, and I'm like, fuck you, I want to see stuff. And you click it and it's just someone saying, calling someone a faggot or something like that. It's like, I never said I don't want to show me that shit. I don't care.
Right.
What the fuck? But
well, so it's pretty much anything controversial or like that's seen as, like associated with terrorism or supremacy or anything like that.
I know they're trying to be wholesome and family and all that crap to get the commercials and stuff, but they got to like nut up and tell their sponsors, all right, look, billions of people make videos for YouTube. You know the resources it's going to take to see all these stupid videos and to say whether they're good or not.
And yeah, and that automated algorithm, even if they said it's like an AI machine learning or something.
Right. Or experts,
Yeah.
someone's nana. I'm going to go and tell the YouTube that they shouldn't have that on there. Oh, see, my mother is like that. She talks like that about things. And it's like, we're not all members of your church. You don't, the YouTube is not meant, YouTube, okay, this is exactly opposite of the first thought that came up in my head. YouTube is meant for everybody, not in the sense that it's approved and that children can watch it and everything. No, everybody should be able to post shit to it, is the way I feel. A buddy of mine posted on his Facebook wall a thing about Trump, and somebody, all caps, this is not the place for your political opinion. It's his fucking wall. It's his place. Yeah, that's where you put your political opinions and your thoughts. I think you should be able to post. You can post whatever you want on there. I mean, as long as you're not just like freedom of speech in general, as long as you're not flat out telling someone, hey, go beat this guy up because he's different,
Right.
I mean, you're not causing harm. You're talking about things, you're talking about things that make people uncomfortable. Let the advertisers decide if they're going to post, if they're going to support certain videos, not just say, we're not going to sponsor anything. Because
like, well, I get upset with the advertisers because there's worse stuff that gets played on TV that they have their advertisements next to. So I mean,
well, like a Law and Order marathon on YouTube, brought to you by Family Mutual, and a big family all together at a dinner, and then it comes back to the show and there's a girl getting raped by some guy with a knife, and it's like, really, the YouTube is the worst thing. PewDiePie is gonna ruin.
But you just try to report on something like that, and you just discuss it, and then they're like, "Oh no, you can't make money from that now."
And we're not saying this because we're on YouTube, kind of, but
I'm just saying,
we're allowed to say because we're not making any fucking money.
Right. It's just with systems like this, it has the opposite effect where a lot of people that are really trying to be, like recruiters for ISIS or whatever, those actually don't get flagged most of the time. Whereas, like just, like the small YouTubers and stuff will end up getting dinged, or like unrelated things get dinged. Like I know the whole big thing. Like I watch like a lot of like weird or like scary or creepy videos on YouTube. And it's like, like the horror community is getting majorly fucked by all this stuff, Yeah.
I mean, because you can't do this. You can't. I mean,
and if you, let's just say, okay, all that's fine, whatever. They don't even communicate with you.
No, they don't. It's all automated. If your whole career is making YouTube videos, which that sounds not like a real job, but it is for the big production companies that the people that rent studio or buy studio space. That's money, and that's your job, and you're not getting paid, and you can't talk to your boss.
Yeah. Well, that's why people are trying to branch out, because that really your boss is your audience.
Yeah, I mean, like some people run their own site. Like I'm sure you're aware
Patreons.
of stuff. Huh?
The Patreons and stuff.
Not just Patreon. Like say Cinemassacre, for example. They have cinemassacre.com where they host all their, they have their own server. They have their videos on there. Or you can watch on YouTube. They upload a lot of their stuff to YouTube because people are on there anyway. And you just watch it. But you could buy DVDs of their show, and it's like it was a YouTube show, but you can buy the DVD of it. Okay, why wouldn't you? But getting off track here. not everybody can afford to do that. I always thought YouTube was, you could post. I understand you don't want to just be able to post anything, because then people will just post Simpsons episodes all day and all night.
Right.
But you within reason, you can post a video about stuff. I mean, once they made it to where it was so available and easy, because you could upload from your phone. That was like the first website that let you upload videos from your phone. If you remember with the old iPhones when that happened. And
Yeah.
It used to be you could only have a 2 to 5 minute video or some stupid shit like that. And now you can have like 10 hours.
Yeah.
And there's software to sync it, so if you stream on, say, Twitch, then you can straight, upload it to YouTube when it's done. And they're making it, they make it so easy that everyone's doing it, and then they start imposing rules, and it's like, I understand you want structure and stuff, but you got to have a chain of command. You got to have someone actually in charge, and because like the government, if they're not doing right, we either vote them out or we tell the head of whatever that we're pissed. They say, call your congressman and do that. When it's just, hey, we're rolling this out, there's no, it's too big to fail at this point. I mean, they said they're not making a lot of money. That's why they worry about advertising. And I understand that, because it's so the server's got to be huge. I would not want to undertake running YouTube servers.
Yeah.
But
Well, they should make the advertisement system better than like have ads for more family friendly things, and because I'm
Right.
sure some of the advertisers I'm sure would be cool with some things and not others, it just depends. But they generalize the whole system. I think I'm not sure how it works, but
their algorithm really should be based on, like, instead of just searches, it ought to be like, okay, obviously you're gaming, you're whatever, and then brought to you by Corsair, and then your game video. I think that would work. And then after so many plays, you either you as the guy posting it get the option to say, no, this isn't relevant, or the sponsor could even say, no, we don't want to sponsor their videos anymore. I mean, granted, you'll have a couple people, oh, Corsair sponsored the guy playing what was that game that got banned from Steam for 10 minutes? House Party. Oh, Corsair sponsored House Party for 5 episodes before someone caught on. That's going to happen. That happens all the fucking time, because we know there's not an actual person watching that, just like there's not a person watching all these YouTube videos pumping out. It's all computers.
Yeah. Well, a good example of this is like you have like I see videos all the time of like free like whole music, like songs and stuff on there that they actually monetize, and they're still monetized, so they're making money off of another artist's work. But then you have other videos where somebody just mentions the word violent and they get shut down.
Right. It's not right, man. It's not right. So
it's like, it's one thing to post all those Simpsons episodes, but people are still, they're putting ads on there, and it's like you're making money off of that. That's like really low.
Right. So Tech Dirt. Let me see how. Okay, this is a shorter one. Whew. I like Tech Dirt, but boy, they're wordy.
Oh, yeah.
House Oversight Head still concerned surveillance he approves of is being used against his party. House Intelligence Committee Chairman David Nunes is at it again. After years of unwavering support in NSA surveillance programs, a one-man booster club operating from inside an oversight committee, Nunes is now starting to find things he doesn't like about NSA surveillance. It escalated a few months ago when he was shocked to learn NSA surveillance grabs communication between world governments and may have been used to listen in on short-lived National Security Advisor Mike Flynn's conversations with Russian officials. Nunes' hypocrisy continued when he demanded answers about surveillance activities under Executive Order 12333, again in relation to possible surveillance of public officials he liked and supported. Nunes should already have known most of the answers to these questions. After all, he heads the Surveillance Oversight Committee. But he didn't, because But he did because he spent most of his tenure with the Oversight Committee arguing there should be less oversight of Section 702 / Executive Order 12333 surveillance programs. Nunez still won't let it go. He's fired off yet another letter demanding answers about surveillance, this time to new Director of National Intelligence Dan Coates. This time, he's looking to pin surveillance on Trump appointees on the outgoing president, as if nothing of the sort continues today. The chairman of the House Intelligence Committee is accusing top political aides of President Obama of making hundreds of requests during the 2016 presidential race to unmask the names of Americans in intelligence reports, including Trump transition officials. Intelligence Chairman David Nunez, in a letter to Director of National Intelligence Dan Coates, said the requests were made without specific justifications on why the information was needed. We have found evidence that current and former government officials had easy access to U.S. person information, and that is possible that they use the information to archive partisan political purposes, including the selective anonymous leaking of such information, Nunez wrote in the letter to Coates. Nunez claims documents show hundreds of unmaskings were performed by Obama aides, giving the former president and others access to unminimized intel acquired by the NSA. Whether or not this was justification in every case, the unmasking of officials engaged in conversations with foreign officials is something that happens quite frequently, as this step is needed to provide context for the gathered intel. The fact that a great number of people in the White House can request unmasking is still a concern, as is the loosening of restrictions on dissemination of unminimized intel Obama put into place right before he left office. The problem here is Nunez is on the wrong side of whatever history is being made here. His NIMBY, not in my backyard, attitude is particularly grating after years of arguing for greater surveillance powers and less oversight. If there is any good that will come of this, it might be the belated recognition that these powers are dangerous if abused, and that if you don't want your political opponents to have them, maybe you better do more to limit them while you still have control of the White House. Wow. Need some ice for that burn.
Yeah, but you see, I wanted more surveillance for everyone else.
Yeah. Not me.
Not me.
That's like that guy that got injured and, sued and made millions of dollars. And then once he became a public official, he made it so that they would limit the amount of money you could sue for.
Right.
It's like, hypocrite much?
Yeah, well, it's like, what did you expect, man? I thought he's like, I didn't know no privacy meant you didn't have any privacy.
Right. Oh, the new Tick series.
Yes, so this is the one we were talking about before.
We talked to the show creator Ben Edlund and star Griffin Newman about their upcoming series. Like its titular superhero, the Tick just won't die. Ben Edlund began drawing the character back when he worked at a comic book store in the mid-1980s, mostly to make fun of superhero comics. And then the Tick became a comic book, and an animated TV series, and a short-lived live-action series. And now a new live-action series is about to start streaming on Amazon for a 10-episode season of pure insanity. If you've already seen the pilot episode of The Tick, that's no surprise. It has been out for almost a year and a half on Amazon. It was part of Amazon Studios' pilot program, where the company determines which pilots will go to series based on popularity. The Tick's loyal fan base made it a shoo-in, and it got picked up for the first season with a pretty hefty budget. At San Diego Comic-Con this year, Amazon went all out promoting this latest iteration. Outside the convention center was an enormous experience where fans could see sets from the series after watching episode 2 for the first time during a packed panel. Edmund is still at the helm, and we had a chance to talk to him at Comic-Con along with Griffin Newman, who plays protagonist Arthur. It's been almost 30 years since Edlund created the super strong blue guy with antenna who spouts surreal aphorisms and shouts "spoon" as his catchphrase. But things in the world of comics have changed dramatically since, especially after countless blockbuster movies and TV shows. I asked Udlin how the Tick will satirize this new phase in the superhero industry. You can see our interview in the video above and hear me make a super embarrassing error when I'm talking about Arthur. He said that the story's entire focus had to shift. It used to be that superheroes were rather outside renegades or oddballs like the Tick, but now everyone is a superhero. They're ubiquitous. Everyone feels entitled to be godlike, perhaps because they're gorging on information online or just immersing themselves in Marvel movies. That's why Edlin decided to make the point of view character in the new show an ordinary person, Arthur, who is the Tick's sidekick. Newman added that Arthur is basically unspecial because he's special in some ways too. First off, he's especially neurotic due to a terrifying incident in his childhood. He's been in and out of mental health facilities, but is managing to hold it together mostly until he meets a towering blue guy who laughs at bullets and speaks in genial non sequiturs about stopping bad guys. The series will be focusing on Arthur's journey as he joins forces with the mysterious Tick. The Tick is almost the field in which Arthur takes place, Edlin mused. Edlin and Newman explained that the show's tone will be humorous but also dark. That's obvious from the pilot, where the Tick's goofiness is contrasted with Arthur's fragile, depressive state. Arthur's traumatic past has left him as a kind of Batman figure, only without power or resources. Teaming up with the Tick means he'll finally have a chance to seek justice. If the Tick is even real. At certain points in the pilot, we're left wondering whether the Tick is a manifestation of Arthur's mental illness. This, too, is part of the darker tone that Edlin was aiming for. Being a superhero is now a dark, gritty, not very savvy thing, Edlin said. Superheroes have a lot of bitter rivalries and smallness. These heroes are getting increasingly like us, and small, just superpowered. Newman nodded knowingly. They're not saving anybody. You can watch the pilot now on Amazon, and the season in its entirety will start streaming on August 25th. Huh. Cool.
Yeah, it looks pretty interesting. I wish I had some pictures though.
Right.
But I forget, did you say that you watched that show before?
Not really. I wasn't into
Okay.
superheroes in the 90s other than I liked X-Men. Yeah, I watched the shit out of that. I was like, yes. And like I liked Spider-Man. I watched a little bit of Batman, not the animated series. I watched the movies. But
Is that would have pictured you would have been a fan of like Deadpool
well, see,
like the whole time.
okay. Well, in the 90s, I was a kid that I got exposed to a lot of stuff because I didn't have a lot of friends as a teenager until I was an older teenager. Late middle school, high school, I was really started hanging out with people and gathering stuff from being around them and seeing what they were into. Mostly, I had to get into crap by going to movies, seeing what was on TV, and the earlier Batmans and stuff were just nowhere what they weren't the Dark Knight or anything like that.
Right.
And I was, when you were in the, let's see, 8th grade, when I was a kid, you were either into sports. I didn't give a fuck about sports.
Football.
Yeah,
I love my football.
I didn't give a fuck about sports. You were into comics. I like to draw, and comics had a lot of chicks with butts.
You're into sports now though, right? Because you have all that Ohio State stuff, right? That's your wife, isn't it?
My wife's an Ohio State alum, so we have a Buckeye room, Ian.
That's right.
I said this on the episodes where I filmed in the Buckeye room.
Yeah, but don't you have like other sports stuff up?
No, that's all OSU shit. I don't follow any of it. I didn't follow. I like basketball. I played when I was a kid because everybody and their brother had a basketball hoop in their fucking driveway. Everybody.
I did.
Hell, we had a basketball hoop over our garage door for a while before we redid our garage. I don't know why, but
I was so poor I had to hold on my arms.
I was so poor I had to play with myself. What? But no, everybody had one, so I played basketball. It's just boring as shit to watch. Like,
Yeah.
there's the guy running, and he's got the ball. Who the fuck's got the ball? I don't even know. And like, I didn't care. Baseball, I still can't follow how the hell you get the scoring on that. I'm like, and he's okay. How many points is that? Okay. I mean, football. I've watched many a football game with my wife. She knows more about it than me. And go ahead and say what you want. I don't give a fuck.
The
but
only
no,
sport I watch is Ninja
Curling?
Warrior.
My old roommate and her now husband, one time they were watching the Olympics, and they were downstairs in the townhouse I lived in. I came downstairs and they're sitting there watching fucking curling
Oh, really?
and like hockey. And her husband was watching. He was a black dude, and I was like, "What the hell?" He's like, he's like, "I'm watching the Olympics and it's on. I can respect it." He's like, "I just don't know what the fuck they're doing." And I'm like, from my understanding, it's like soccer with sticks. Try and keep them from getting in the net. But yeah, so I didn't follow sports. I like to draw. I've always liked to draw, even though I wasn't very good at it as a kid. I always liked to draw, and then I read comic books, but not to the extent that other people like comic book characters. Like we had one comic book store in my hometown, and I would go to like the antique mall, actually, not mall, but the antique store I used to go to had a comic book shop right next door. And you know, old people want to go to the antique store, so my parents went there, and we walk around. Wow, look at this crap! And then you get frozen yogurt at TCBY, and then you get go to the next door over, and there's comic book shit. And I wouldn't actually get comic books. I would get like the packs of the cards. So I had books. I think I still do of the little trading cards with like Spider-Man and Rogue and Storm and all that shit. So I had those, but I didn't have too many of the books. No, I had the Max. I had the most of the entire series of that because I watched it on MTV and I was like, this is cool. And then I was at the store and I was like, they have it on, they have copies of it. And I bought it, and then I was so mad. I told you we went to TCBY afterwards, and the first issue was white, and I went and I got grape or plum or whatever fucking ice cream and got the shit all over. I was like, damn it, I got decided to buy another copy. But yeah, that was my main comic purchases at the time. I wasn't too into really superheroes in general. But I watched the X-Men cartoon. The theme song was awesome. That made me go, what happens? What happens next?
Right. Have you ever watched that American Ninja Warrior show though?
Yeah, but it's kind of I watched it when it was on G4 for a minute, right?
Yeah, it was just Ninja Warrior or Sasuke.
I watched a little bit of it there, and then I watched Wipeout's basically the same thing. Just you're not as cool. You're like, oh look, because you're not watching to see them succeed. You're watching to go, oh shit, oh, because Wipeout's more boom. And actually, I watched more of that parody show on Spike where they take Takashi's Castle or whatever, Extreme Elimination Challenge, and they dub over the dialogue.
Oh yeah,
you remember that?
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Guy Ledouche.
Yeah, I know I'd get a lot of hate for this. Like, I like the shows, but like, I don't know if I would really consider it a sport because, like, I don't know. Would you consider something a sport, like, if you only had like one chance a year to be able to do it? Like, I mean, sure, you could practice like on your own time if you could build up the right equipment and stuff, but if you can't actively be doing it throughout the year, I mean, professionally, I don't know if that's a sport.
Bowling's technically a fucking sport. And Jim Gaffigan's got a whole bit about any sport where you can eat nachos and play and sit down because you're too winded.
Right. Well, I suppose if you can build an obstacle course, and then you could like have multiple people do it, and then like time it. It's just it's only officially timed once a year.
Well, you really want to train. I mean, like my brother-in-law, he does a lot of crazy stuff. He does like the Tough Mudder, where they crawl through mud and get shocked by electricity and shit.
Oh yeah,
And then he does that. He like travels. He does that in Ohio. He'll do it in West Virginia and Kentucky. And I go, fuck that. But I mean,
yeah, it's like that military stuff,
yeah. Do you watch boxing at all?
No,
Oh, you're not gonna watch Mayweather and Connor?
no, I heard that's like really huge though.
Everyone's pumped, and like my friends that post about it on Twitter, I was like, you weren't let down enough by Pacquiao versus Mayweather. No, man, this is totally different. It's gonna be fucking boring. It's either gonna be out in 2 seconds, or it's gonna be them dancing around, barely touching each other to just make their contract. So
I did watch a little bit of MMA for a while there, but not a whole lot.
yeah,
I'm not like into the wrestling like Doug,
No, he's really into that. I watched it when I was a kid, and then I realized, oh, it's fake. Oh. But anyway,
I love how he's making fun of me for my what do you call that guy? That Roman Reigns?
is that what that fist is? I don't know.
Yeah. And he's like only grandmas and like kids like him.
Well, he
Mysterio.
just it's funny that he just noticed, and you've had that in the background for like a billion years.
Yeah.
But is this your last article here about
I thought that was the last article, the tick thing.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Because I had this article, and I was like, was this yours or mine? Okay.
Yeah. Oh, this you said you had blind thing, but this is different.
Well, I have two blind things.
So you just got a blind theme tonight.
Yeah. Okay. Let me get into my stories, bitch. Okay. It's a lot faster when we don't have Doug and someone else getting us all sidetracked.
Right.
Okay. U.S. court rules that phone passcodes are protected by the Fifth Amendment, but fingerprints aren't. And like the first comment when I saw this post was like, too long, didn't read. Don't use your fingerprint to, secure your fucking phone.
Right.
While Touch ID makes sense for most of us as a secure and convenient way to protect our phones, there is one group of people who may want to stick to good old-fashioned passcodes: criminals. A Virginia district court has ruled that while phone passcodes are protected by the Fifth Amendment, which says that those accused of crimes cannot be compelled to incriminate themselves, there is no such protection against using a suspect's fingerprint to unlock a phone. This ruling was reported by the Virginia pilot in the case of David Baust, an EMS captain accused of trying to strangle his girlfriend. I'm not going to read the caption there. Oh, never mind. I guess I can't because it's not that long. I thought it was longer. Prosecutors had said video equipment in Baust's bedroom may have recorded the couple's fight, and if so, the video could be on his cell phone. They wanted a judge to force Baust to unlock his phone, but Baust's attorney, James Barsoletti, argued passcodes are protected by the Fifth Amendment, which prohibits forced self-incrimination. Judge Stephen C. Cruci ruled this week that giving police a fingerprint is akin to providing a DNA or handwriting sample or an actual key, which the law permits. A passcode, though, requires the defendant to divulge knowledge, which the law protects against, according to Frucci's written opinion. That's a fucking judge, though. It's as a ruling in a district court, there is plenty of scope for either aspect of the ruling. That passcodes are protected and that fingerprints aren't to be overturned on appeal, but it's an interesting argument. Sophisticated lab techniques make it possible to fool Touch ID using only a high-resolution photo of a fingerprint. The approach was first demonstrated on iPhone 5S and later shown to work also with more sophisticated sensor on the iPhone 6. I think that's the end of it. Yeah. So it's interesting. Tinfoil Hattie. Do you think it'll eventually get...
All you got to do is cut off the finger, Vin.
That's right. Now, what I think is eventually, do you think it'll go to the way with the, well, why you got your phone set on a passcode? Are you doing stuff you shouldn't? Why don't you just have it on your fingerprint like, good, honest Americans? And people,
Yeah,
no, man, I just don't want,
well, that's just like
like
did you hear about that Russia is banning VPNs now?
no, I thought I saw something like that.
Yeah, they are. Like you can't be you can't have privacy.
No, we gotta know what you're doing, big brother.
Yeah.
With FCC now at full staff, groups warn that net neutrality is under threat once more. You could, hey,
Speak of the devil. We were just talking about you
shout
too.
out the devil.
Evolution's in the house. What's up, bitches?
Bitches. Right now we're talking about the FCC.
Really?
FCC? You see?
You see? What's
I'll read the headline for you.
you want to go ahead and read me that there article?
Or we could get caught up on what Doug's been up to.
Yeah, what's Doug been up to?
Working,
Same as me.
working, and I'm off for the next 2 days. So,
Woohoo!
What did you get to see that movie, Doug?
which one? There's a couple I'm trying to go see. I saw The Dark Tower last night.
Oh, hold on. Ben said we gotta mute your microphone. Cut his mic.
That movie.
I have not seen Ghostbusters as of yet.
Yeah, I think you ought to watch it, and then you can tell Ben, yeah, it sucked.
That's exactly what I'm going to do.
I just think it would suck if you ended up being like, "Oh, it was actually pretty good."
I
Just look
respect.
like an idiot.
I respect all the actresses involved, but in their defense, they didn't write it, they didn't cut it, and they didn't make it.
Yep.
So, I'm not a sexist, but.
So shall I actually go over exactly what happened?
What about Ben? Rage quitting?
Well, okay. So here's what happened.
See, what happened was
What happened was this past Sunday I did my podcast, which is Crushcast, and I invited Ben on. Okay, and the idea of the large scale topic was sexism in media and how it translated year over year between last year's Ghostbusters flop and this year's Wonder Woman success. Now, there was a lot of media hype that, the sexist males, cisgender males, were going to basically kill off the movie because how dare there be 4 women Ghostbusters and no fucking men. Of course, I disproved that. And then Ben was like, "Oh yeah, I've seen that." And we debated, and I feel really sorry for Ian for having to sit through that. For there's probably 20 minutes of banter back and forth. And eventually it got to the point where it was so bad where I was like, you know what, let's play around the horn or you're getting muted for the moment. And then he left.
Well, it was just crazy because that was like his first return to your remake of this show.
That's okay. I mean, it's not that not that super important. It's
Well, your show is important, but you're saying you shouldn't sweat the small things, right?
Yeah, I'm not angry about the situation. Disappointed about the situation, yes. And we know we haven't spoken since then. We don't really talk a lot anyway. But it's just disappointing that he couldn't see the topic for what it was and couldn't see the actual backlash for what it was. So it is what it is. I'm not gonna
How long have you
not
guys
gonna sit here.
known each other?
I've known him since high school, and
Oh, wow.
that's about 18, 19 years at least. So,
I've known
But
him
again-
a little longer.
Frank's like, I've had to deal with him a little bit longer.
and that's just it. I mean, agree to disagree on that, but I know the content and the situation speaks for itself.
But my opinions on the movies was at the best it was a half-assed tribute. At the worst, it was like a total disgrace to the name. You know. And we were on your show. We pretty much came to the conclusion that like that they pretty much just took over the whole name. They didn't have any like references to the old movies. Yeah. There wasn't any mantle that was passed off to them. Sure, they had the actors come in there, but that just because they make an appearance in the movie doesn't mean anything, you know.
And I think that's important to realize too, is that the content of the movie, as listed and as presented, was not received well. But
yeah, and Ghostbusters, like in all honesty, Ghostbusters is a movie where you really shouldn't do a reboot. It has to be a continuation of it, and
it's not a movie that you can just pick up and put down like that. No.
Yeah.
You pick it up while I'm putting down.
And if you can't do that, then maybe the Ghostbusters can't have another movie. I mean.
Yep. And the entire thing is that it turned into the did you watch it debate, and then it turned into how I can't have an opinion on something that I knew about and read about. Just decided to not see, but I knew exactly what happened in the plot. I researched it, and I thought it was a little funny. He was trying to discount Wikipedia, even though it's not really that hard to find out what happens on Wikipedia. It's not like I went. It's not like I went in and edited the Wikipedia to make it sound like a piece of shit movie.
Right. Well, we were trying to argue the plot and the storyline of the movie and what it's about. You're not trying to dispute if it was like a movie, a good movie on its own. Like in general, I guess it's just that it wasn't a movie that it wasn't what you wanted, pretty much. And you know what the sad part about it is, and this is something that I've said before. I don't think I've said it here, but there is such a thing where it can be a bad movie on the source material, but be a good movie otherwise. A good example of that is the remake of The Evil Dead. As an Evil Dead movie, it's trash. But as just a standard horror movie, it's not bad. It's actually pretty good. I ended up buying it. You just have to tuck away the Evil Dead moniker in a corner and cover it up with a sheet for 2 hours. You know what I mean? So that's like a case of where you should have just called it something else, and it would have been best movie of all time. Probably.
I have not seen the remake.
As an Evil Dead movie, it's trash. It really is. It does not do any favors to the originals.
Well, I mean, my only thing was Raimi was involved with it, right?
Yeah, Raimi and also Bruce were involved in it.
Yeah, so I'm not going to condemn it, but touching that is, ooh. That's all. That's the sound I make when I heard they were ooh.
Yeah, like oh no, damn it.
But anyway,
and that's honestly a possibility that exists for Ghostbusters. It could be otherwise a standard slapstick movie that is mildly entertaining, or it could be very entertaining.
You didn't see it, but we weren't debating that.
Exactly. I was debating basically what the public said about it and debating what was actually said about it. He
So
was
you
debating
admit
the
you
fact
haven't
that
seen
I
it.
had not seen it.
Now, Doug, what would you do if you see it and you like it?
Then I'd come on here and say that I liked it.
Oh, okay.
Well, he could. He's still saying he could still like it, but he's probably still going to say that as a Ghostbusters movie, it wasn't a Ghostbusters movie.
That's the way I would look at it. It was just some goofy shit.
That is
Yeah.
entirely a possibility. I could end up liking it.
The
Probably not
Hemsworth, I
going to
think,
happen, but
as far as the males go in the movie, Hemsworth was probably the best. But
Yeah.
okay, so
sorry.
no, you're fine. I just figured, we're all in agreement. Ben's the only one who's like got a stick up his butt for that.
Well, he's getting so angry about a movie.
There is one other person I know who is very vehemently against the fact that I was speaking out against it. Is a friend of mine too, and she was like, "Well, I like to think for myself," and I'm like, "I think for myself as well." I'm the one person who's against most things that everybody's in love with. Like, I will sit here and talk trash about The Walking Dead until the cows come home, and most of my friends are like, "Don't talk about The Walking Dead, man."
Nah, I love zombies, but
sacrilege.
So she was pissed, huh?
Oh, she was mad at me.
Are you talking about your roommate?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, then I got nothing.
Nothing.
So this story here, the FCC now at full staff. With the FCC now at full staff, groups warn that net neutrality is under threat once more. The FCC is moving to end net neutrality, quotes, which could mean giving big cable companies room to charge extra fees, block, and censor users. The Senate on Thursday confirmed 2 nominees for the Federal Communications Commission, Jessica Rosenworcel, a Democrat, and Brendan Carr, a Republican, bringing the agency back to full staff and sparking fears among open internet activists and lawmakers that net neutrality will soon be under threat once more. As Politico reports, FCC Chairman Ajit Pai now has the votes he needs to roll back the 2015 open internet order, which prevents large telecommunications companies from controlling online content and requires that all traffic be treated equally. So, yeah. Everyone be vigilant, is what I'm going to say. Ian, you have comment?
Hey, man.
Have
This
comment?
sucks.
Doug, do you have anything to say about this? No? Okay.
No, in general, it's going to be a hard way to go either way, because the more they're going to push for the destruction of net neutrality, the more we're going to push for it, for the upkeep and the continuation of net neutrality. So
they're not voting in our best interest. We're telling them this is not what we want, and they go, so we're going to do this whether you want it or not, basically.
Yeah.
Well, wasn't there an article about because there's it's 2 Republicans and 1 Democrat seat now on there?
Yep.
I don't know. By the way, a bill intended to stop sex trafficking could significantly curtail internet freedom. That's Senator Rob Portman.
So this is more overarching laws that go beyond what it's meant for.
No one can dispute that there is sex trafficking in the United States, or that criminals now use the internet to facilitate sex trafficking and other crimes, just as they also use mobile phones and even the U.S. Postal Service. Make no mistake, sex trafficking is reprehensible, and its perpetrators deserve to be punished to the fullest extent of the law. But some members of Congress seem to believe the internet itself is to blame for sex trafficking, and they're now trying to rush through legislation that will make it easier for state governments as well as the federal government to punish online service providers when criminals use their services. That's nuts. The internet we know and rely on today depends on a carefully balanced framework of laws that, by design, protect online service providers from being sued in every jurisdiction or prosecuted by every ambitious prosecutor who wants a headline. Congress very deliberately set up this legal framework so that crimes on the internet or inherently interjurisdictional medium are primarily a federal matter. Currently, there are two basic federal laws that provide safe harbors to online platforms for content decimated by their users. The Digital Millennium Copyright Act deals specifically with copyright infringement, while Section 230 of the Communications Decency Agency generally addresses most other kinds of legal liability that service providers might routinely face. So, for example, YouTube wasn't liable for copyright infringement when a user uploaded a video of a baby dancing to a Prince song on its site, and AOL wasn't liable for any defamation when Matt Drudge republished a defamatory statement about Sidney Blumenthal on its site. This is as it should be. Individual perpetrators, not intermediary platforms, are usually the most appropriate targets. This framework may not be perfect. For instance, there may be room for the DMCA's notice and takedown provisions to be improved, even if it is generally even if it generally gets the balance right. But these two laws help support and protect the innovative online ecosystem we have today. Neither the narrow provisions of the DMCA nor the broad protections of Section 230 offer platforms a blanket protection against the prosecution. Sorry, I lost my place here. Against prosecution of, I heard a noise and then my eyes moved. Prosecution of or lawsuits. Importantly, Section 230's liability protection does extend to federal criminal laws, including sex trafficking or conspiracies to facilitate criminal activity. But without the limited protections the DCMA and Section 230 provide, it's likely that services like Wikipedia, Facebook, and Twitter wouldn't exist. These laws are essential to making today's robust online public squares possible, and they will likely be essential for the next generation of online entrepreneurs. Yet now the entire online ecosystem is in danger. Senator Rob Portman of Ohio and Richard Blumenthal of Connecticut have recently introduced the Stop Enabling Sex Traffickers Act of 2017, which would unravel Section 230 protections and to make platforms liable for being in the middle of sex trafficking enterprises. That's really they're going to SESTA's sponsors, they're abbreviating it, have made clear they're specifically going after Backpage.com and other internet classified ad websites that some might use to market sex services. But here's the thing. The U.S. Justice Department already has the authority to investigate and prosecute them. They also can punish corporate online platforms when they cross the line. In fact, Portman has already asked the DOJ to do exactly that in the case of alleged wrongdoing by the online classified service Backpage.com. Furthermore, SESTA's language is so broad that it could lead to state lawsuits and prosecutions of sites that don't carry any advertising at all. It could sweep in every online service that hosts user-generated content, perhaps even including email services and comment sections. To draw an analogy, the bill would be as if Congress decided that FedEx was legally liable for anything illegal it ever carries, even where it's ignorant of the infraction and acts in good faith. That would be a crazy notion in itself, but rather than applying only to FedEx's tech equivalents, the giants like Google and Facebook, it would apply to smaller, less well-moneyed services like Wikipedia. Even in the larger internet companies can bear the burden of even if the larger internet companies can bear the burden of defending against the vastly increased number of prosecutions and lawsuits, that's by no means certain. It would be fatal for smaller companies and startups. Let me see how much more. I'm almost.
Well, that's okay.
but I only have
hours later.
An eternity later. So yeah, we don't understand how the internet works, but they got crap on there, so we ought to just shut the whole thing down. Fucking idiots. They can't. The legislation is trying to catch up with technology so bad that they're doing it wrong.
Well, it doesn't help that the DMCA is fucking shit half the time. Really doesn't help.
Well, that reminds me, one article that I think we should probably get Doug's opinion on is the YouTube thing.
The YouTube thing. Your story?
Yeah, the more recent controversial videos, hiding of those.
Yeah, they're flagging them by what is it they say, quote unquote, experts and experts and algorithms.
And those YouTube heroes.
Yeah, that's the experts.
Yeah,
So
got that.
I do honestly. I was gonna say I do honestly think that if right now would definitely be a ripe time for like a really cool, like new kind of video thing to pop up. They could definitely steal from YouTube. I would think.
Well,
Well,
right
sure,
now
'Cause
you
they're
have
just-
some other sites like VidMe. VidMe's been taking some business away from them.
right.
They're really small, but they're not doing too bad.
I mean, they don't know that YouTube has Google backing them as the main thing. So
Yeah,
they're a superpower. I mean,
but they YouTube wasn't always backed by Google. I mean, they were like their own.
yeah,
thing,
they
and
were
got
small.
like really.
Yeah, they were small once too, but they're not now. If you were going against them when they were small, it might have been possible, but come on now. Did they have an opening that is only so wide and yeah. Think of the Death Star
Well,
there.
I'm just saying it's not going to be good though because they're fighting themselves. You know, they're pretty much shooting their own foot.
Yes, but it's like when the Roman Empire went down, they didn't have some little guy go, "Hey, now it's our turn." No, the place just burned the fuck down, and they played a fiddle.
Yeah.
By the way, check this out. This Amazon set for spectacular collapse. It won't be long now. It won't be long now. That's the message from Daily Reckoning writer David Stockman, who says a tech crash is imminent, and the company most at risk is the darling of 2017 e-commerce giant Amazon.com. In an August 1st post titled "Amazon is the new tech crash," Stockman, a former director of the Federal Office of Management and Budget, said Amazon is in the middle of a speculative blow-up, much like the NASDAQ was in the 1990s before the dot-com bubble. Quote, not to be forgotten, however, is the 1 year after the March 2000 peak, the NASDAQ 100 was down to 70%, and it ultimately bottomed to 82% lower in September 2002. I expect no less of a spectacular collapse in the case of this cycle is equivalent shooting star, Stockman said. Year-to-date, shares of Amazon have climbed by more than 30% as a string of acquisitions and new ventures has fueled investor buying. Shares in the online retailer reached a high of $1,083, which saw its market cap soar above $500 billion and took CEO and founder Jeff Bezos
Jeff Papa?
to the
Bezos.
number one spot in the world's richest list. Yeah, then he got back down the next day where a guy at my work was like, well, on paper, he's only the world's richest on paper. I go, money's made out of paper. So this guy is saying basically it's going to be like the stock market and shit when, we all saw the dot-com bubble burst. We were there for that. What's everyone's thoughts?
Well, so why are they saying that the tech thing is going to burst? Just because it's...
He thinks it's at the apex of the bubble and it's going to collapse on itself. I didn't read the rest of the article out loud.
I just know that because of the Bitcoin mining and stuff, the cards were pretty expensive, and
despite the colossal rally.
Well, the idea right now is that people are, since the Prime is doing okay and you're still making good money off of a lot of the purchases, that even though it's still growing, Amazon as a whole is still growing. Now they have Amazon Video and Amazon Studios. A lot of investors are buying too much into it and recklessly inflating the prices of the stock, essentially.
Right.
Which I'm like, well, why would you be that dumb to do that anyway? But that's just me.
well, hey, it's like all you got to do is just say the word VR, and people will just throw money at you.
Exactly. It's the thing with Amazon is that I don't think that company's value is too terribly off from where it is because of how much they do and how much they do well. I mean, it's not like Amazon is a trash website. I think it is valued a little bit higher than what it actually should be valued at. It's just that there's a lot of people who see that and they see it as one of those too big to fail type of things.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone is going to freak out should it dip below, plateau X. You know what I mean? Which, if anybody's going to have that, I think it should be eBay, because eBay has really got their fucking paws into some shit as far as monetary gain off of sales, and they have a secondary website where you do main level shopping as well. Their valuation is actually then they've been around for longer, so I would have thought that maybe they would have had most issues. And it's not like, again, eBay's not a bad business. It's just they've been around for so long now. But
and wouldn't Newegg go down too? Because I mean they're like the main computer place,
Well, that's the thing, is that there's a lot of websites now that have been competing with Newegg, like NCIX through the YouTube channel. NCIX America has been a pretty good competitor.
Tiger.
Well, but like most of the techie websites don't have super high valuations though.
What was the one, like, I know Walmart's been trying to compete with Amazon. What was the other site they're like, they have 2-day shipping? That's a game changer. What was that? See the commercial. I could see it now.
I'm not sure. I do have to give props to Micro Center though, because they'll price match anything. They have like really low prices to begin with, and like I'm not sure if I said on air, like I bought this $400 processor.
Yeah.
And it was still within the 15-day return window, and the price went down $50 within like a few days of me buying it. So I noticed that on their site, and I was like, that's kind of bull crap. So I called up, and because I was thinking, I guess I could just return it to the store and then just buy the same thing again. But it was even easier than that. They could do what was called a price adjustment, and they just were able to put the $50 straight on my card. So, like, I mean, that's pretty cool. You could just get more money back.
Too. Yeah.
Who does it?
My company, the company I work for, 30-day guarantees. Cool. Yeah, that happens a lot. Walmart's trying to get ahead of the game, though. Walmart is actually now offering products for a lesser price if you order it online.
Really?
Is that like when you go to a gas station and they're like, pay with your card, it's this price. Pay with cash, it's this price.
Yep.
By the way, speaking of ahead of the curve, Google and MIT's new machine learning algorithms retouch your photos before you take them. It's getting harder and harder to squeeze more performance out of your phone's camera hardware. That's why companies like Google are turning to computational photography, using algorithms and machine learning to improve your snaps. The latest research from the search giant, conducted with scientists from MIT, takes this work to a new level, producing algorithms that are capable of retouching your photos like a professional photographer in real time before you take them. The researchers used machine learning to create their software, training neural networks on a data set of 5,000 images created by Adobe and MIT. Each image in this collection has been retouched by 5 different photographers, and Google and MIT's algorithms use this data to learn what sort of improvements to make to different photos. This might mean increasing the brightness here, reducing the saturation there, and so on. Using machine learning to improve photos has been done before, but the real advance with this research is slimming down the algorithms so that they are small and efficient enough to run on a user's device without any lag. The software itself is no bigger than a single digital image, and according to a blog post from MIT, could be equipped to process images in a range of styles. A composition created by MIT showing the original 12-megapixel image left and the retouched version produced by the new algorithm right. This means the neural networks could be trained on their new sets of images and could even learn to reproduce an individual photographer's particular look in the same way companies like Facebook and Prisma have created artistic filters that mimic famous painters. Of course, it's worth pointing out that smartphones and cameras already possess image data in real time, uh, but these new techniques are more subtle and reactive, responding to the needs of individual images rather than applying general rules. In order to slim down the algorithms, the researchers used a few different techniques. These included turning the changes made to each photo into formulae and using grid-like coordinates to map out the pictures. And all this means that the information about how to retouch the photos can be expressed mathematically rather than at full scale as full-scale photos. This technology has the potential to be very useful for real-time image enhancement on mobile platforms. Google researcher John Barron told MIT using machine learning for computational photography is an exciting prospect, but is limited by the severe computation and computer constraints of mobile phones. This paper may provide us with a way to sidestep these issues and produce new, compelling, real-time photographic experiences without draining your battery or giving you laggy viewfinder experience. Will we be seeing these algorithms pop up in one of Google's future Pixel phones? It's not unlikely. The company has previously used its HDR Plus algorithms to bring out more detail in light and shadow on mobile devices since the Nexus 6. And speaking to The Verge last year, Google's computational photography lead, Mark Lavoie, said we're only beginning to scratch the surface with this work. So what do you guys think of that?
So like, what does it do? It does just like these crazy enhancements for you when
on
like
the
in the live view.
Yeah, like it does it in, I guess, pretty much real time. So is there a video or is that something else? I think that's something else. But yeah, I mean, it's just an advancement. It's showing how far the shit's going. It's crazy.
And then it'll just put like automatically it'll put like a giant red X when you try to use like a selfie stick.
Right. It'll be like, oh no, let me guess. You want to make it a black and white filter, princess, don't you? This is what you're putting on Instagram. Doug, you have any thoughts?
Shit like that pisses me off.
Oh shit!
I'm very much an original work purist in a way. I don't like I do amateur photography in my spare time, and I don't do any of that shit. I don't adjust photos. I don't go through and do any of that shit unless like Instagram. Well, like, boy, don't you want the perfect picture? I have the perfect picture. It's the one that I take.
You want to decide what the picture ends up being. You're saying?
Yeah.
No, he wants.
I don't need some fucking whack ass algorithm to say, well, this is the optimal experience of the photograph that you're taking.
Oh, but Doug, you can always turn it off. You want beauty feature on or off? Turn it off.
Well,
okay.
If you want true personality to come through photos, you have to let an artist do their work, not just press a button and you get it.
Oh, you don't want an auto vignette. How do you say that vignette?
Fuck that.
Instagram filter on there. Well, do you shoot RAW then? Because if you shoot RAW, then that's like pretty much the negative that gives you like just the raw data.
Yeah.
RAW.
I just shoot what I shoot and I'm done.
He uses Polaroid.
You don't know what RAW is, do you?
No.
It's a big file. Check this out, Ian.
I was looking at that, so that's the command line, huh?
Microsoft is updating the Windows console colors for the first time in 20 years. Microsoft is giving its Windows console command prompt a color overhaul. Windows 10 testers will be able to try out the new color scheme and a new build that will be available later today. Whenever this was posted. Windows console Legacy Blue is getting a subtle change to make it more legible on modern high contrast displays, alongside color changes to the entire scheme. It's a minor change, but if you're familiar with the Windows console, then it's a welcome addition that developers have been asking for. It's also a particularly relevant change now that Microsoft is supporting its own console alongside Bash. Another example of Microsoft paying attention to the small things that matter in Windows 10. Windows 10 testers will only see the new colors if they clean install the build, and if you upgrade, you'll keep the legacy colors to ensure any custom color settings are not replaced. Microsoft is planning to release a tool soon that will allow Windows 10 testers to apply the new color scheme and a selection of alternatives. Developers, you can thank Microsoft summer intern Craig Lowen for the overhaul. So there's the legacy scheme, and there's the new scheme, which makes sense. It's kind of dull there.
Yeah, I want to put that red text over that searing neon green. Yeah.
So yeah, it's a little dull. Doug, you have any thoughts on this?
Who gives a fuck? It's colors.
Oh boy. But see, the artist has to take the colors and make the art.
It's something that is used in probably less than 0.5%. Less than 0.5% of all PC users in the world. That is the.
Well, even if you are like, if you're coding all that stuff or doing that all the time, you should really just be having like a dark background because it's better for your eyes. Frank, you know that, Frank. You always got to turn that dark. I remember you turned it on that one time and you're like, it's so much better.
Anyway, by the way, what's like creating one of Steam's most popular games at just 20 years old? I just linked this. I want everyone to read this little article because it's kind of funny. That game Unturned, which is a free-to-play game on Steam, this fella right here he's in his 20s, 20 now. He made it when he was 16. And he just made it for fun and said, I'm going to put it on Greenlight and hopefully it comes up. And yeah, it became a game, and it's like they're one of their most popular downloaded games. So
I didn't get to do an article on it. Did you hear about that one game company that was on Kickstarter that pretty much took like $600,000 from people and they decided to just start all over again?
Yeah, what was that? Are you talking about that Mega Man ripoff kind of game? Was it Project?
Yeah, that's Mighty Number 9. That's actually from the original creators of the Mega Man franchise. They actually released that game.
Yeah, after no one cared.
Virtual and physical release.
Yeah. I just thought that was a nice little thing for people to read. I'm not going to sit and read the whole thing. By the way, I'm all about that data hoarding, Ian.
Yeah.
Magnetic tape data storage breakthrough will make your hard drive seem tiny. The amount of data you can squeeze onto a hard drive continues to grow by leaps and bounds, with Seagate announcing a 60-terabyte SSD late last year. But thanks to IBM and Sony, tape might still reign supreme when you need to archive massive amounts of data, as the companies have jointly developed a new kind of tape that can reportedly hold 201 gigabits, or roughly 25 gigabyte per square inch. That might not seem impressive when you can buy tiny micro SD cards that are capable of holding 250 gigabyte of movies, photos, and music. But when you fill a cartridge with over a kilometer of this new tape, you can store 330 terabyte of data in less space than a hard drive takes up. Accessing that data is nowhere near as instantaneous as it is with SSDs or even hard drives, but for companies that need to hold on to years worth of data just in case, tape cartridges can be a more affordable long-term solution. Unlike
so it's like colder than cold storage.
Right. Well, like I told you, I work in shipping and receiving, and we keep all of our packing slips. We keep them on site for a year, and then we keep them in storage for a year or 5 years. I can't remember. And then we keep them in the paper ones in storage for X number of years. That's only if the digital copy of it can't be traced.
Right.
And as far as the digital copies, that went from like an Excel spreadsheet to like an actual database somewhere online on some server. And I can't even imagine, if you're an actual business that has to keep records, because they can audit. They say, give us all your records for 2010 through 2012. You have to pull the shit up or else you will be in trouble. And, if it's not something you're using every day, then I can understand this, But, yeah, I found this interesting. And hopefully they'll keep their paws off of my hard drives and I can buy them for cheap. Doug?
Yeah.
Anything?
Yeah,
Do you have any feels here?
Doug has cold storage all around him with all the CDs and stuff.
Yes, I do.
You got 8-track?
Unfortunately, I do not.
You have Laserdisc?
No chance in hell.
No chance in hell.
Huh.
You got vinyl?
Huh?
You got vinyl?
I do, yes.
A modest collection or pretty vast?
Modest. It's pretty small, actually.
Hmm.
Inherited it from my dad when he passed away.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Hey,
That's
is what it is.
I
That's
inherited a bunch
interesting.
from my dad just because he had it sitting around and never listened to it. He's still alive, by the way. But, he gave me a butt ton.
That's cool though. That'd be a good present,
I got I've got You're a Good Band, Charlie Brown, and I opened the album up, and in the middle is a Nixon, I think it's a 33. It's either 33 or 45, where Nixon's giving a speech and his face is on the record. It's really fucked up. I was like, what?
I
But,
am not a crook.
Yeah.
I'm not a crook.
And I think I'm on to my last story, guys. I know you're
I was
sad.
gonna say something. That's pretty interesting though. That's a good story though, Frank, because it's like, yeah, we go back to the older technology. Like we're doing the retro battle station, and we're talking about the old keyboard
Right.
connections are actually better. I mean, some of the
Right.
older shit was better quality.
Well, think about it. Digital televisions now, everything they're going to digital. Rabbit ears, son. Everyone's got I bought an antenna, and I don't. I mean, that's nuts.
Yeah.
But anyway, my last story here. A smartwatch to help blind people navigate. The sonar-equipped Sunu band buzzes harder the closer an object is. Fernando Albertorio is legally blind, which can make it tricky to navigate busy sidewalks without bumping into things. He's got a sort of superpower to help him, though. He can sense objects, people, doorways, trash cans, lampposts well before he touches them. Albertorio, co-founder of a company called Sunu, doesn't actually have a sixth sense that alerts him to obstacles in his path, but he does have a wrist-worn gadget he and two co-founders developed, which uses a sonar sensor and subtle vibrations to do exactly that. The band, which he wears daily, emits a high-frequency ultrasound wave that bounces off objects he encounters. The band considers the strength of his reflection and produces a vibration that's stronger or weaker depending on how close or far away the object is. I'll feel much more confident moving around these spaces where normally instead of walking faster, I'd be like, where am I going? Alberto said earlier this week while traversing the busy streets of downtown Mountain View, California at lunchtime. Alberto and his co-founders, who are currently participating in the startup accelerator Y combination, hope their band can be useful to others who are blind or visually impaired. The National Federation of the Blind says there are as many as 10 million such people in the U.S. alone. To get to this market, the startup will begin shipping its $299 Suno band to buyers later this month. So yeah, it looks kind of like just a wearable, but kind of wild, don't you think?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
If you don't know, Doug, this is our third story about things aiding blind people, actually, we did tonight. What was the other one, Frank, that you did?
Hold on. Feeling a solar eclipse.
That was mine.
Basically, they wrote Braille books to help blind people understand the eclipse, which still, I don't know how the hell you do that, but okay. That was a topic of discussion we got into for like an eternity just in itself there.
Yeah. But then you had another one I thought you did.
Let me go mine. Court rules, the net neutrality, sex traffic, collapse. I did?
Yeah. I thought you did.
Nah. Nah, son. That's all my stories
Okay.
right there. I had the fingerprint. I had the FCC. I had the sex traffic. Amazon. MIT. Oh, by the way, Doug, we didn't get your comment on our first story.
Yeah.
U.S. court rules that phone passcodes are protected by the Fifth Amendment, not fingerprints.
Interesting.
So, do you think that it'll someday come to like they'll go, "Hey, why are you using a passcode, you criminal? Why don't you just use your fingerprint like all of us law-abiding people?"
Bitch, because you don't need to know about my second life.
But no, that's pretty interesting. Don't you think?
It's weird, but
I mean,
I can imagine that they probably were thinking that passcode being a general form of security that you have to come up with yourself, but a fingerprint is something that everybody has and that everybody can use.
Well, the judge was ruling in a case, and he says that he ruled this week a fingerprint is akin to providing a DNA or handwriting sample or an actual key when the law permits. A passcode, though, requires the defendant to divulge knowledge which the law protects against, according to his written opinion.
Interesting.
So this is just one judge's opinion. I'm sure the Supreme Court can go, bullshit, boom, gavel.
Right.
But, So that's my last story there, guys. I'm all storied out.
So we're now going to get into the part of the show where I say, again, Frankie, I don't need your iBook. I got one coming.
Yeah. You ordered one off eBay, huh?
Yep.
I ordered a new monitor on eBay, and I was telling Ian and Ben that I might have fudged up. I had been watching several of them, and so I had the watch option on eBay, and they were the same exact model, and they were most of them were like they had the original box, so they even had the exact same box. And when I ordered one, I thought I ordered one of the ones that had a description that's like tested, works fully, and all that, so I could use that. Say okay, they said it works well. This one, I was looking at it again today to double check how when if they had shipped it, and I was looking at the info and I said, well, wait a minute, what's the description? New open box. And that's all he put, and he didn't have a picture of the screen. I'm like, oh fuck. So I might have screwed the pooch. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's my own fault. I don't remember clicking on that. They not only were the same model, had the same box, they even had the same price. The only difference was shipping.
Huh.
The same fucking price. One was $9 shipping. The other one was $34. I'm like, God damn it. So I was like, oh, okay. And I was literally, I had hit the buy now button, but in that interim, I was looking at I flipped back to make sure it was, because I wanted a model with FreeSync. I went back to LG's website and said, does this model number have FreeSync? Oh, yeah, it does. And when I hit buy, it's like, sorry, this item is not available. It has been purchased. I'm like, fuck.
Dude, I'm telling you, when you get it, there's going to be like a giant dick burn into the image of the screen.
No, Doug, did you ever see that guy who was selling his plasma because his buddy thought it would be, he thought it would be hilarious.
Yeah, I saw that.
Okay.
Just had porn on there and just had it pause for like 3 days.
Or no, he had a week or two. He had two gay scenes. He's like, if you want to see a guy taking the biggest load I've ever seen from a giant black penis, it's burned onto the screen.
Thank you. All right, so here's what I ended up picking up last weekend. I actually picked up 2 Apple products, not just one, 2. First one I got was the iBook G4 12-inch. This is just the stock on that model.
Uh-huh.
256 megabytes of RAM, 30 gigs of storage with 32 megabytes of VRAM.
Mm.
See, introduced 2003, discontinued 2004. The other item that I got was a Mac Mini. Now I only paid $15, $15 for the MacBook or for the iBook, with shipping included.
Mm-hmm.
And the other item I got was a working Mac Mini, and which is really like super fucking lucky that I found this. I was just fucking around and I ended up finding it. So it is a working Mac Mini with AC adapter and video connector to PC monitor. It was $10 plus $30 shipping.
How much?
And that, yeah. And that I'm looking it up.
I remember Alex Jones talking about since Apple is evil, that the logo of the apple that represents the apple from the Garden of Eden,
Yeah.
being taken a bite out of it.
Yeah, and he
So
also
this
said
guy-
that there's a sex traffic ring on Mars. So,
Yeah.
or was it the moon? I think it was Mars, ran by NASA.
Well, I didn't know, but he was one of the people that believed that the moon landing was a hoax, which is pretty crazy.
Stupid. So the Mac Mini I got is the Mac Mini Core Solo with the disk drive.
Mm-hmm.
512 megabytes of RAM, 64 megabytes of VRAM, 60 gig hard drive.
Wow.
Nice. So,
You gotta put all your pornographies on there.
well, what I'm thinking of doing is if it'll take it, I'm going to put in 3 terabytes of hard drive space if it'll take it.
Hmm.
And maybe upgrade the RAM to its maximum amount. It's probably going to be like a gig or two.
Right.
But that was only like, what, $40 and with shipping and the price. That's not bad for a Mac Mini of that age. So
Woohoo!
now I can actually start my book hardcore.
Woohoo!
Bitch.
Cool. Sketches. Yeah. So I'll either have a bomb ass monitor or a turd.
It'll just be a bomb.
Yeah. It'll be a nice box.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see.
I don't know.
Well, you could always, I don't know what could you salvage from a monitor,
Box.
like,
It
I don't
depends.
know.
It depends because there's so many things that, like, I was like, oh shit, if it's busted, there are so many things that could be wrong. The simplest fix is a bad backlight. You know, maybe a couple capacitors tore out, whatever. Worst, I don't want to think about it.
Power supply.
I don't know, leaking, acid or whatever the hell. Remember those ones that looks like just black goo leaking from the? You ever seen those?
Oh, you mean the Venom symbiote?
Huh. Let me see here. Broken monitor.
Well, I see some people using like the screen filters and stuff for photography, like the polarizing thing that they have to put on the LCD. Like if you're really cannibalizing the monitor, I mean,
I don't remember if it's. I think it's IPS. Let me see here. Ooh, look at this.
oh shit.
Yeah.
The hell was that?
Huh? That's a busted ass monitor.
No.
Like most of the ones you'll see on eBay, if you look up. What? Got the fast
Just
keyboard.
monitor broke.
Throws in letters. Ultra wide, and you do it by like let's see, lowest price.
Oh yeah, Doug, I got some RGB RAM. That's for my new build. $32 gigs.
It lights up
Sucker.
pretty colors.
Look at the pretty colors. Fucking stupid.
Look, there's some colors.
Colors. Colors. Colors. Colors.
Oh,
Colors.
you don't care about. You would never have like a window on your computer, Doug.
Huh?
You would never have a. Do you care about what your computer looks like at all?
I do.
Would you have a window on
I
it?
care about it looking neat and tidy, but RGB everything is just not my style. When I initially built my first computer, I had literally just one RGB light that just shone blue, and that was it. And that's because it was already built into it. I'm like, well, I might as well fucking use it.
What was it? The power button?
No, it was actually an LED right where the front fan was.
Mm.
So not only did it shine on the fan in the front, it also kind of did a back shine to all the components on the motherboard. And that was enough for me. I'm like, oh, good look, you can see it. Great, fantastic. I'm done now.
So you don't mind if it's just like a solid color light or something?
Yeah, like I can take a couple solid ones to make sure that you can see inside the PC. But when all of a sudden, no, you're looking for, like, what's it called? Maximum seizure effects. I think I'm good on that.
Well, I am probably gonna be having it where it is probably a solid color because I don't want it like changing colors all the time. Like I don't keep these lights on all the time, like changing colors. Like after the show, I just turn it on the normal color, because you could just make it a white light, just regular, So, yeah. These LEDs are RGBW.
Oh, RGBD's nuts.
How original. How did you ever think about that?
These nuts.
By the way, I know I talked a couple weeks ago on my podcast about Blood Drive.
Oh, yeah, what's going on with that?
They sent me a poster and a T-shirt in the mail. I'm like, oh, shit.
Really?
Julian Slink knows my address. Uh-oh.
Huh.
If you haven't seen Blood Drive, ladies and gentlemen, why the fuck are you watching this? Go watch Blood Drive. I mean,
Yeah, I was on shock. I didn't get anything. Ain't cool.
Well, I also hardcore support the show on Twitter.
Oh, you do?
I hardcore support the show on Twitter. So.
Did you ever like that movie, Repo the Genetic Opera?
Yes.
I have it, but I haven't seen it yet.
Dude, you've got to watch it. It's
I have
great.
a friend that's her favorite movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, it's got Sarah Brightman in it, and
Did you see Repo Men, Doug?
no,
Repo Man.
nope.
Was that a good movie?
It was different. Had Forrest Whitaker in it. And his lazy eye.
Nice. Well, Doug, did you have any articles or anything that you wanted to talk about?
Well, it's really not a lot going on. There is a little bit of a small type of issue that's going on YouTube right now that I think needs to be covered. I was kind of going to cover it on Sunday.
Okay.
But why not? Today's a good day as any. Have you guys ever watched the Angry Joe Show channel on YouTube?
A little bit.
There is a controversy going on currently with Angry Joe versus a good portion of his audience. Essentially, Joe's been doing the Angry Joe Show and doing 13, 15, 17 angry reviews a year for the past 4.5 years. So last week he announced that he was going to, or last week or the week before, announced he's going to take a 2-month vacation. And the fucking shit hit the fan. downvoting his videos, fucking with the rest of his content on his channel. And essentially, there's a lot of people out there who's trying to bitch on him because he wants to, be able to live a little bit and not have to put in 80-hour weeks to produce one episode of The Angry Joe Show.
Right.
So I wanted to throw out my support to The Angry Joe Show channel and kind of tell everyone, like, listen, a lot of us content creators put in, 40, 50, 60, 70-hour weeks trying to put X amount of content on a channel a week. Even one Angry Joe Show, he said, has run him, hundreds of dollars or hundreds of hours of time and manpower, not even including the actual shooting and editing. You have to script, you have to do so many things. I mean, we do a lot of...
It's just like animation where you have to draw the frames and stuff,
So I think the thing to remember is, like, we're here on YouTube. We do a lot of content creation, and it seems so easy. And then someone's like, well, I could do your job. Well, I really want to see a lot of you people try to do our job. Even on a freeform show like this, these guys have to look up the articles, try to dissect them a little bit. That way we can actually talk about them. And even as much as me being a guest on your show, or Ian on Sundays being a guest on my show, I put a fair amount of thought and process and research into the product that I put out, and I know you guys put out. So, just a reminder to everyone out there, this is the Wild Wild West of YouTube.
Wild West.
Pick up Wild Wild. Jim West, Desperado, Rough Rider. No, you don't want nada. None of this. It's gunning this. Brother running this. Buffalo Soldier. Boy, it's like I told you.
That was a horrible, horrible movie, man.
Yes, it was.
It was like Maverick with black people.
What, the Will Smith movie?
Wild West. Yeah, you didn't... Did you see it, Ian?
Yeah, I saw it, yeah. The giant spider thing.
Oh, yeah.
Well, like Kevin Smith said, that was the director because he wanted to put a giant spider in fucking the Superman movie, and he's like, that has nothing to do with Spider-Man.
Right.
And then he's like, and then I saw Wild Wild West, which was made by this director, and it had a giant fucking spider in it. So yeah.
But yeah, just a reminder to everyone, we do a lot more than a lot of you people think we do, as far as how we produce our content and how we do what we do. I think that always gets tossed under the rug or tossed off to the side because it all seems so easy, until you're prepping. Especially when you do streams like this. You have to prep your stream. You have to promote your stream. You have to see which venues your stream will go out on. There's a lot of work that goes into what we do, and a lot of us. I didn't get paid for the first 3 years that I had a YouTube channel. Anything that I wanted to review or unbox, I had to pay for myself, and I still pay for everything that I unbox, review, try. Unless it's something I can somehow get either at a reduced price or free, and also, especially, I feel bad for a lot of the YouTubers out there that still do 30, 40, 50 hours of content production, and this isn't even their primary job. So
right. Well, that's like I watch a lot of horror stuff on YouTube, like scary narrations and stuff, and like the horror community is getting slammed really hard with all this YouTube apocalypse stuff,
So just a reminder, we may be here for entertainment purposes, but this is still work. This is still may not be a full-scale, full-time job, but a lot of us treat it like it is. So
yeah, people take it seriously,
Yeah. I just think people need to expand and contract our horizons a little bit and realize exactly what we do here.
Right. And what were you saying? Like a lot of people are complaining or something?
Well, a lot of people on Angry Joe's channel were like, "Well, we're here for the angry reviews. We want the reviews now. We want you to do this game and this game." He's like, "I need to take a break." You know, he's been doing these angry reviews and putting in these long hours for literally like I think he said he has his channel for like 7 years, something along those lines, since like 2009. And he's still, chugging and going and doing even more content than when he started, to make sure that his channel stays in the algorithm flow. At the minimum, the dead minimum, you have to do one video a week just to be entered into the algorithm pool. And now you have to do multiple times a week to even be in the top percentiles of YouTube content creation. It's to get promoted by YouTube, you have to keep this train going. And
most people just can't do it every day.
Yeah. So it's just something that a lot of people are like, "Oh, where's the angry reviews?" And he said he wanted to take some time off, and all of a sudden the haters came out of the woodwork. It's bullshit.
My only thing though is like I don't like when channels like just like die without like any kind of like videos. At least like you gotta update your audience once in a while on what's going on. Like sit in front of the camera and just talk with them. That's my only thing. Like at least keep everybody updated on what's going on.
Yep.
And like if you're just not gonna do anything anymore, then just shut the channel down, I guess. But yeah, like if he's gonna go on a break, then he's got to do what he's got to do.
A baby's got to do what a baby's got to do. Well,
nobody backs Frankie in the corner.
We're gonna play the theme song at the end of this episode, and it's gonna be terrible.
Yeah. Hopefully it's fine on the thing or
Doug,
on the recording.
Ian's been having audio issues. He says they sound fine on the recording. We'll have to check it out when we play back. No one's gonna play back to this, but
it's okay, Frankie. You don't have to apologize for your bad guitar playing.
Oh no! It's you'll see. The opening wasn't my creation, and it's Are you ready, Ian?
You want me to put? I was gonna say, shot of we'll do a shot of scissor up this week. How about that?
On behalf of Ben and Doug and myself and Ian and everyone, get your stick on the ice.
Right.
Bullet Club, bitches. Goodbye and good night.
Sounds like a horror movie. That kind of sounds cool.
Like the opposite of auto-tune.
Scissor.